the NFHS, we see a spike in confidence that will help her achieve her potential. What else do we see? Musicians learning to march to their own beat. We're the NFHS, the national leader and advocate for high school athletics and activities in America, helping today's teenagers develop the skills they need to become tomorrow's leaders. And we see it happening in communities across Wisconsin every single day. Learn more about the NFHS commitment to youth at nfhs.org. This message presented by the NFHS, the National Federation of State High School Associations.
We are Fox Sports.
I'm Doug Russell. High drama at American Family Field.
2-2. Fly ball to deep right. It is way back and down. Yelich delivers in the clutch.
Jeff Levering on the call on Brewers TV. Milwaukee down 7-3 entering the eighth inning. Exploded for 6 runs, highlighted by Christian Yelich's first ever pinch hit home run. The Brewers earned the 3-game sweep over the White Sox 9-7, the final on Sunday. The Brewers now welcome in the Tampa Bay Rays for 3 starting tonight. College basketball, the Final Four is set. UConn eliminates Duke in a thriller 73-72. The other game in the Elite Eight, not nearly as dramatic. A blowout. Michigan dumps Tennessee 95-62. NBA on Sunday, the Bucks lose again, this time to the Clippers 127-113. They'll host the Mavericks tomorrow night. The Huddle starts now. I'm Doug Russell on Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
Good morning, Wisconsin, and welcome to the Huddle.
I'm all for someone huddling if you have something to say.
It's time to wake up and talk about the teams you love.
Everybody wake up! Everybody wake up!
With the guys you love.
It's just about getting the group together. I need you, you need me today. Let's keep touching each other. Let's make sure we feel each other. Let's make sure we smell each other's breath.
Watch us on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
You need 15 or 20 huddles to correlate with the number of cameras.
Take the cameras off the field and there'll be no huddles.
Now gather around because it's time to huddle up.
West left slot, 323 wide stick on 1. Ready, Biller, for blitz. If it looks like man coverage, I'll check. I'll go 200 get. You got to cut and crack. Now cut and crack. Red, right, 18, Bob on 1. Ready, cut him and crack.
If you look at this play, what we're trying to get is a seal here and a seal here and try to run this play in the alley.
We know exactly what we got to do. All right? That's all we're going to y'all do. Let's go out and kick the tape. All right? 1, 2, 3. Keep doing what you're doing. Get down now and make the play. Be right all the way outside. Wide, left, fake, 396 bag, D-hand, C-puck. Is that long enough for you?
I want you to be proud of your profession. It's a great profession. Go out there and play this ball game like I know you can play it.
With Drew Olson,
Mythical, legendary figure.
Bill Schmid,
Oh, my God. This man's been out all night.
and Armen Sarian.
This is it. Don't get scared now.
Sanchez, we ready?
Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin is on the air.
Top of the morning to our favorite insomniacs, sociopaths, early risers, and friends of the Huddle. Broadcasting live from the Chico's Bail Bond Studios. It's Drew, Billy, and who's that guy behind the glass?
Ooh, they let him out. They let him back in.
Back. Armen Sarian, station mascot, producer to the Stars, is with us. Back from his weekend in Vegas with El Baldo and the Merry Pranksters.
All right, yes. And indeed, yes.
Did you win the Papa Shot contest?
I did not win that, although I shot better than I thought I would. I got to be honest with you. It wasn't one of those mini Papa Shots. It was like a full-size job.
Oh, wow.
You know,
okay.
It was like legit. I'm like, all right.
Holy cow. Okay.
So after 2 rounds, I was like, I was getting tired. You know, breathing hard. I'm like, man, 50 seconds of putting these missiles up.
The thing is, we knew you were going to get the most shots up per capita in however long you ended up shooting. You were going to take the most shots, and somehow I'm on mic 3 just about every single day, and I think that we finally figured it out.
I was just adjusting your levels.
There we go. But yeah, I do believe that there was no shot anybody was going to take more shots than you. I'm not surprised that you were gassed after that.
Gassed, man. Put up the shots, but it was good. It was good to get out there. Good to get those shots up, and good to be off for a couple days. I call it the appetizer since I'm off next week.
That's right. So as a Vegas veteran, you've become kind of a connoisseur of the city and the desert. You and Billy both, but Armen,
Armen's frequenting, yes.
He's frequenting, and he's looking for the underside, meaning he's looking for the cheapest deals.
Hey, man, hit that
spent a lot of time.
A little bit,
Armen spent a lot of time at the MGM Grand because that's where your festivities with the Zabe group were. But I'm just wondering, can you give us the general tenor? Because this is week 2 of the NCAA tournament. It's 100 degrees. They're very warm, like 90s, right? Weather's
they were unseasonably warm. They had some record highs in the 90s.
Yes, but
so
what were the
the
crowds like? What was it? Because a lot of people are. I'm seeing a lot of TikTok walkthroughs like, this is the casino at 10 on a Friday. What the hell? Where is everybody?
I'm happy to report there have been a lot of those stories coming out about quote unquote is Vegas dead, is this and that. I'm happy to report that when I was there, the reports to the contrary. The
reports of their demise were much exaggerated.
Thank you, Billy. You said it perfectly when I couldn't.
Sorry, I didn't know if you were trying to grab it. Yeah,
I absolutely was. Thanks for filling in there. I appreciate you picking me up there. I'm going to just say Luxor was at full capacity Wednesday night when I checked in. And as you guys know, I would stay in the
that's
pyramid.
in the 90s.
Not only that, and this is an early game balls, I got an email from them and it's actually from a guy that the hotel manager. Now, this could have been like a general email that he sends out. Thank you for choosing the Luxor. We're anticipating a high volume of arrivals for check-in today and want to make your arrival as smooth as possible. Skip the front desk. You can check it online now, blah, blah, blah.
Holy
Jack
cow.
Burge, hotel manager. I'm like, wow, I don't think I ever earned special treatment, but I kind of felt like for a second I was like the man. But reports of demise greatly exaggerated. There was not one room available in the hotel when I checked in on Wednesday night. So look, at least for that week, it was fairly busy, and the conventioners were there. A lot of people walking with their skinny jeans and their
businesses
vests
are going
and their little, rolling their little displays and stuff like that. So, there was definitely activity this week, and it felt pretty good to see the people out and about for sure.
So I'm excited that Drew. It sounds like Armen got the autographed and signed by Bud Selig or Mark Attanasio thank you letter for re-signing your Brewers season tickets. That's pretty impressive that he got the personal letter from the casino manager letting him know that you can book online.
Yeah.
Because generally that's the 17-year-old interns that are standing by the sportsbook kiosk asking, sir, do you have the app?
Just all over.
Do you have the app?
All over you.
I know you're going to make a bet right here and use a paper ticket because mostly people have been doing that since, since
forever.
Betting was invented.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's more fun to hold the ticket and be able to cross it off. But do you have the app?
Mm.
Do you have the app? Yes, I have the app, and I don't need your free drink that you gave me 4 years ago when I signed up for the app.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that you were able to stay at the King of Cheeks and enjoy what is still one of the only landmarks that is not going to be a big-ass guitar. Out there on the Vegas Strip.
That's a great point, Billy.
That picture you sent me of the resurrection of the Hard Rock Casino guitar is unbelievable. And that is a massive structure, right on the road, it appears.
Look, for those of you Las Vegas files, it will be dominating the view as you look north on the Strip where that curve happens to
That's
the right.
Crazy.
Where that dogleg happens. It is big. It is massive. And I will say this. It is spectacular, and it's going up pretty fast. So I kind of like it because it adds a little bit more of a character than just, office building looking hotels. But it's definitely a behemoth of a guitar, and they're putting that thing up fast. So we'll see when that thing actually gets open and operating. But it sure seems like it'll change it up. And look, that town's always changing, and we're seeing it again. So another chapter in the future of the Las Vegas.
The soon to be. Hopeful, not soon, but the in progress baseball stadium.
I was also going to say hopeful because Drew, I think there were some times when we were like, hey, are we actually breaking ground on this? Are we just moving dirt back and forth?
Talking about
That's another one.
It's actually going to happen, but that'll change the landscape as well. Well, we're glad to have Armen back. Shout out to Luddy and Hunter for holding down the fort with us.
And in advance, because I'm off next week too. Just before anybody
Sick
asks,
brag,
really already, Armen, I know Billy, a tradition as old as time, people talking about their vacation and radio.
Got to.
Just getting it out there now. Yes, I'm off again next week, packing in the days.
I'm a month away from my own vacation. So
all right, Billy.
I'll be honest with you. No, I don't have anything on the books, but I'll tell you this. I'm trying to figure out a way to potentially be right exactly where Armen was and celebrating the boys buzzing their way to the Frozen Four coming up. Great place to put the Frozen Four in Sin City.
Game balls and kicks will be robust. Our cup runneth over. The madness of March, the sports roller coaster, the spine-tingling moments, the breathtaking comebacks. But enough about the Brewers White Sox game yesterday. Let's talk about basketball. No, I'm kidding. It was the Brewers game. We talk about sports in a nutshell. Was in the couple hours you watched the Brewers come back in stirring fashion from a 7-2 deficit after a horrific start. Brewers debut by Brandon Sproat. Brewers come back. Yelich hits a bomb. They score 6 runs in the 8th inning on a sun-dappled through the through the what do you call that? The roof structure. You got the sun,
the little
shadows,
panels,
the little
firing
panels.
it through. Yes.
Yeah, you had it looked very fall-like. It looked almost like a little bit like a October Classic yesterday.
And the funniest thing was to see the day progress. Man, Brandon Sproat, as somebody that was a little disappointed in my favorite sports book, the Potawatomi sports book, for not listing Brandon Sproat on Rookie of the Year odds. Drew, as I sat there in section 118 yesterday, I was like, ooh, I don't know that I'd give him odds to make another start after he could not find the strike zone at all.
It was really rough. He pitched well Tuesday in the against the Reds in the exhibition game. A really rough Brewers debut, but they came back and won. And then you go from that and you're like, oh my God. I'm looking at this and I'm thinking about the White Sox. It's like, wow. White Sox got slaughtered the first two games, basically.
Mm-hmm.
The opening day was as bad an opening day as basically what the Brewers did last year, right? Because they struck out 20 times and walked 10 on opening day. And then they play a game that's a little bit better on Saturday, but not much. Got throttled. And then it's like, okay, they're getting all their frustrations out. Hashtag baseball. You can't win them all. And they rough up Sproat. They hit the grand slam and they're up. And then it starts to fade. And then it's like, wow, if they lose this game, they might not win till May.
Might be the full-on White Sox experience.
That's a brutal loss. Now you can debate. In my mind, the way my sports brain works, their loss opening day was much less painful because it was, you had a lead early, but it was you got boat race, right? You got curb stomped on. But that to me is better than puking away a lead on your 7-2 and your closer giving up the huge home run to Yelich and capping off the 6-run inning. So I think I would have been more frustrated with the opening day loss because that was futility in action. That was the definition of you're not competing when you strike out 20 times and when your pitchers walk 10 guys and you get shellacked. However, then it's like it goes to how would you like it? Would you like the slow dismembering, or do you want the quick? You want it quick because what happened to Duke hours after the White Sox melted down? It's like, as glorious as that was, I'm watching that game and I'm saying, man, I almost feel bad for Duke fans.
Yeah.
Which is an unbelievable
because it's 2 years in a row and it's
Yeah.
like unconscionable to lose the way they do. I'm sure there are people in Durham because I saw what happened with Greg Gard and they're like, we got to get rid of Shire. Sucks. Can't win the big one.
Yeah. The ultimate choke artist.
He's got like a 70% winning percentage, if not higher. He's been to a couple of Elite Eights under the age of 40.
And two insane recruiting classes back to back.
Yeah,
I saw those hot takes. Yeah.
It works out.
Anybody who thinks that he should be in trouble for this is just insane, but that's the soup we're in. And it's like, whoa. So just the whole arc of, from you're ahead to behind, the way it played out for the Brewers and White Sox, and then for UConn and Duke. Did UConn win that game or did Duke lose it? Well, UConn stayed in it. They battled back from 15, 17 down early. Incredible, heart of a champion, all that stuff. But Duke did puke it away. The last possessions, and Boozer is one of the best players in the country, failed them in big moments down the stretch.
Yep.
And it's like
multiple times.
Wow, this is hashtag sports. This is why we love it. Just those games alone, like that last possession, just hold the ball and get fouled. It's easy to say that now. And that gets to my annual rant about all these kids playing all this AAU ball and playing all these games, hundreds of games, way more games than guys played than Jordan and Kobe and Barkley played as you.
Not even close.
And yet they have no idea how to execute at the end of games. They have it looks like they're playing for the first time.
Because there's no true teaching and instruction in that, right? It's just get on the floor and roll.
Shouldn't be, but you would think just by repetition, like
that's fair.
Lack of awareness of situations and when to hold them and fold them, and like it just is stunning to me because.
And it appeared to be stunning to John Shire when they flashed the camera over to him, and he's like kind of smiling, like, "What do we do?"
Just hold the ball. Now I know that the fact that they melted down in similar fashion last year, but the other team is trying to foul you.
Yeah, they're trying to give you a chance to put free throws on the board.
Ball.
I think there's an aspect of we are trying to curate our young athletes and teams and sports to be as much of a machine as possible with expected outcomes and robots. And then you see them on these big human stages that they haven't been in. Yeah, they've been in a lot of AAU games, but they haven't been in the NCAA Elite Eight before in these situations where you are reminded that they are going to be human and possibly make human errors. And if you're not strong enough with the ball, you can make those errors, or one split-second moment, you might wilt under the pressure of the situation. I think that is part of it too. It's like we expect now there to be so many expected outcomes in life. And it's like, these are still humans playing a human game, and mistakes will happen. And in one moment when, you could have held the ball, but there's an open guy down court and he is open, and well, maybe I can pass to him and clinch this game. If you're not strong enough with the ball gets tipped. The ball is tipped. There we are. I mean, that's the nature of this game a little bit. So, yes, they were trying to foul you. Also, it would have been a 1-on-1. So he's thinking, if I get it down court, Shire's saying we have open guys. I don't know.
I just make the foul shots. Like the thing is,
yeah, you're right, Billy. You could, and that's one way to win it, right?
I mean, it's the easiest way, and the funniest part about it all is, like you mentioned, years gone by, Chris Webber not knowing that they don't have a timeout in the Final Four. Yeah. There's 70,000 people there screaming and hollering. I actually think that a moment like yesterday should maybe give us a little bit of grace towards Chris Webber, because this is an action mistake that, Drew, you should be knowing from 15, 18 years of playing basketball, let alone for a boozer, being able to watch their Adonis-looking dad go through 18 years in the NBA, seeing a number of them as well. But I do wonder how many different times the lack of true repetition and teaching, and frankly, the amount of practices that they have, or the lack thereof.
Yeah.
You don't ever end up having those situations. But for John Shire, I don't know that you've seen a guy have more success and have two of the worst, most unconscionable collapses you could have in a tournament back-to-back years. I mean, last year, they put that screen grab of what? They're up 5 with 44 seconds to go. And it's like, how do you lose this game? Well, the Milwaukee Bucks found an exact way to do the exact same thing in the playoffs, game 5. But they found a way to do it. And then yesterday, sure, Mullins hits an unbelievable shot. I don't know anybody didn't think that thing was going in off that.
I just knew it, and it's like a logo 3. So you're like, boy, cognitively the chances of this going in should be low, but you just know it's going in, man.
And as a Duke investor at -5.5, you're up 4. The only person I don't want to see touch the basketball is the guy I don't know had made a shot all day long.
Yeah.
And that was Caravan. And he kept like, just don't let 11 touch it.
Sure.
He hits an NBA straight on 3, and it is game on.
Yeah.
Man, you're right, dude. The heart of a champion is a real thing, but somebody was very, very complicit on that other side.
Oh, no doubt.
And
that's the eternal debate. You could debate that forever. Did UConn win or did Duke lose?
And when losses like that happen, you're a young coach. Like, talk about Shire, you're going to get saddled with that kind of moniker when maybe it's not totally deserved, but that's just the way those games happen. But it's going to be, all right, he's a choke artist. Like Rick Barnes got saddled with that tournament struggles many years. And then now later in his career, he's done better. We see some guy, Bo Ryan's a great example. There was always a thought before he broke through that Bo Ryan couldn't break through the Final Four, and then he did it twice. So I don't know. It's tough for John Shire because I think he is a good coach. I think he's a young coach. I don't think he's one of these guys that's, you look at him and Hurley. The big debate in my house was who's a bigger villain, Duke or Dan Hurley? Duke is always the villain, right? But Dan Hurley's strutting around with his shirt off.
He's hilarious.
He's hilarious, but a lot of people don't like him, obviously. Mm-hmm. So then it's that whole thing.
When Raph said the lights won't go out in Jersey City tonight. It was pretty good.
Yeah, you love that, didn't you?
That was a great line.
Oh, my God.
I know you love that
so,
one.
877-794-1973. If you want to jump the route and give us a game ball or kick to the balls, you can feel free.
Well, and Drew, let me, as you brought it to the White Sox, the amount of fans that made the pilgrimage up here from the South Side.
I give them credit, yeah.
Dude, I gave them a lot of credit. There were a ton of White Sox fans there at American Family Field yesterday. And, they were having themselves a good day. They were having themselves a lot of fun. There was one guy that could not get off of Brandon Sproat through the first 2 innings. Very much having a good time. A lot enjoying the fact that Montgomery hits a grand slam and they have 4 runs up there before they even have an out. But to then have to witness it and think, wait, we might not be that bad this year. We might win 75 games this year.
Murph was pumping them up all weekend.
It just boosted them, and all of a sudden to get crashed right back down. And for it to be a guy like Murphy, who he's 1 pitch away from being able to get out of it. And obviously Yelich gets the headlines. Terang being able to extend the inning is phenomenal. How about Luis Rengifo, who hit into some of the most that's baseball bad luck early in the game, staying in that at bat. driving in the run and getting it to Yelich. And that was one of the biggest at-bats that you see in the entire run.
Yeah, absolutely. Brewers just did what the Brewers do, right? They pecked away with small ball, and then Yelich got the big fly, and it was so dramatic too. Yelich, that was a great, like, the Brewers are 3 games in and we're still in March. And that the crowd pop when Yelich was announced as the pinch hitter was
and the Yelich chants rolling
the
through there was phenomenal.
It's just good theater there, and Brewers fans are getting it. Now, as you look at this Brewers team, I was talking to our pal Dom Catronio about it yesterday, and just catching up with guys and early season. It's like when they leave camp, you look on paper, they might be better than last year. Now, they might not have a better record, but in terms of talent and depth, the fact that they won these 3 games, the fact that they came back from 7 runs down with Vaughn and Churio sidelined, right? 2 of their top line guys. It just shows how they roll along, shows their depth. They bring up Carroll. Like, I was wondering about with Sproat, he's got a rookie catcher making his major league debut. Here's a guy making his 4th big league start.
Yeah, maybe not the best
first start for first real game for his new team that he wants to settle in and be a contributor for. So a lot of factors with the battery yesterday. Then the way Murph worked it, and they had Sanchez playing first. And then, Contreras ends up catching as the DH ends up catching. And when McGill went in, he was batting cleanup.
Giving up the DH. Yeah.
They gave up their DH. Murph managed that game in a way. I mean, I don't remember how many games have the Brewers used 3 catchers.
Very few.
Right.
No.
That's a very rare.
Not many. So just the way they rolled through, though, it was a very Brewers-like game. And now, as I look at the landscape, the way it lays out, I don't expect the Brewers to have a stretch where they go 30-4 this year.
I would doubt that.
But I don't think they're going to need to go 30-4 because I don't think they're going to be 4 games under 500 in late May.
Yeah, you can't look at the lineup, Drew, and think back to where you were on March 30th of 2025 and think that this team is not significantly better than the one was last year. And the pitching staff is far younger.
No,
but you swap out Freddie Peralta for Brandon Woodruff as long as he starts tomorrow, and it feels somewhat.
And that's the thing is, given the youth of their pitching staff, you might see some games like what Sproat did yesterday. But then here's the thing: you play complementary football is a phrase we use a lot from between September and February. Well, that's complementary baseball in that you got rocked early. You chip away, right? I thought the game was going to end. The Brewers at one point, they cut back, they clawed back 2 runs in the first, right?
Yes, right away on the Sanchez blast.
Right away on the Sanchez blast. They're down 4-2. Then they give them right back. Sproat gives them right back. So they're back in the hole. And when Sproat leaves, the bullpen, you can say, well, that's a Yelich game. That's an offense game. How about that? No, it was the bullpen that won that game.
Big time. Grant Anderson.
Let them tack on, right? Grant Anderson and Woodford. By not letting the White Sox tack on, they made the comeback possible. So to me, that was bullpen story 1, even though it's the Yelich blast in the 6-run inning, but it was bullpen game. And you can win a game when you have a crappy starting outing.
Big time.
They haven't won. They weren't doing much on offense. And I thought there was a point after they had gone down 6-2 where the Brewers put men on first and second with nobody out and didn't score. And it's oh, that's it. That was their chance. This is it. You'd be happy winning 2 out of 3, win the series, move on. Oh, they decided to win the game and sweep. So good stuff at the ballpark yesterday. Great stuff in the Final Four. We've got, Michigan, who is
just
they have a chance
the wagon
steamrolling a good Tennessee team. Bad day for a Tennessee team to finish its season on, but that was a good team. So Michigan rolling in, facing Arizona. You got Illinois against UConn.
Man.
It's a wonderful Final Four.
And Purdue was so close to getting those home games.
So close.
They were so close.
Well, we'll get to that.
20 minutes away.
Well, we'll get to that in the cookies theory and how that affected us.
We're going to get to it. We're going to get to it. So get us your game balls and kicks to the balls. Be ready to hang out with us. We are ready for a wonderful week here in the good land. Baseball is upon us. We got the Masters to look forward to. We have the NBA will move on. Bucks officially eliminated from playoff contention, thankfully.
Didn't happen.
They covered last night, though.
That happened on Saturday. We'll talk about their lost weekend, and what's left of the dying days of their season is now all we have to look forward to on the NBA side is the draft. We got that. And then there's this little thing called the NFL draft coming up as well. We're glad you're hanging out with us on this Monday. Let's dominate this week. It's the Huddle on Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
2-2. Fly ball to deep right. It is way back and gone. Yelich delivers in the clutch.
Brewers TV, Jeff Levering on the call. Brewers beat the White Sox yesterday, coming back off the mat, down 7-2 early in the game and prevailing 9-7. Trevor McGill getting his first action of the year. He was going to pitch no matter what. Ended up being a save op.
I loved Rock throwing it in there in the beginning of the inning saying, well, still might get a save opportunity. And everyone's looking, all right.
Yeah,
Bill,
right.
Come on.
He's going to pitch. Maybe it'll be a save
have
opportunity.
confidence. I love that.
And slowly but surely, as McGill stayed out there for 25 minutes to try to get himself ready and was ready, stayed ready, came in and was nails. It had the Grant Anderson effect because I think Grant Anderson got up in the first inning, got up in the second inning.
3 games in the bullpen. I was
and
like, my God.
Finally got in the third. And Drew, you hit on it. He was a huge reason, pardon me, in the fourth when they finally took out Sproat after 3. Him and the Woodford Reserve, 2 phenomenal pieces as they both go 4 innings, combined 4 innings, each give up a hit, no runs, and keep the crew in a game that they had no business winning at the ballpark yesterday. But it inspires a whole lot of confidence in Brewers fans rolling into the summer.
It does. It kind of has the opposite effect of what last year's first 3 games were, which obviously inspired the opposite of confidence at the Yankee series. So I just find that pretty interesting because we know how last year turned out. One of the great regular seasons in Brewers history, 97 wins. Now, maybe you can kick me in the balls for sounding like an Eeyore here, but we still, have a whole season to play. So as great as the start was, it works. The logic works both ways.
So does that mean you're not going to be like the guy in 87 that brought the cardboard 162-0 to the Brewers game tonight?
No, I'm gonna still hope for it and cheer for it.
Okay.
I'm gonna still believe in it. I love that one, Billy. I always like to tweet that thing out. I did it again this weekend, but I should have done it again yesterday. But yeah, you got to have that hope, that belief. You got to dream. That's what sports is all about. So 162-0 is our dream. That's our goal. And until it gets shattered, we're going for it.
As Coach Boone said in Remember the Titans, perfection is what we will be chasing, knowing damn well we will never reach it.
Yeah, that's right.
But along the way,
so
excellence might be achieved.
Excellence.
So
Brandon Sproat's got nowhere to go but up. It was a rough start for him, right?
Or to Nashville. Either one of those.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
That was the only other one.
He's going to come out.
Nashville's a nice town.
Actually, the fact that they did get the 3rd inning out of him, kind of a,
Well, it also stinks because I was ready to do my Sproat the GOAT, hashtag. And
I was excited.
Yeah, I can't.
Well, and I thought, Drew, as people around us kept asking, you got to get in a new pitcher. You got to get a new guy in. I'm like, oh, no, they're going to let him wear 80-some pitches of this.
Oh, yeah, he's going to wear it.
And then maybe go find somebody. It's a little too early to be pulling somebody in the first.
It was interesting, like the first mound visit came from Murph.
Yeah,
and I thought, I wonder what's up there. He must be telling him like, all right, so the first 4 guys score, bases are empty. It's like, all right, the reboots now.
Mm-hmm.
Now you can, all right, you're 30 pitches in, but now it reboots. Let's go.
Well, let's ride it
now. Yeah, and now's a test. If you can get us 4 now and suck it up.
And to your point with Caro being the catcher in his first game and Sproat making whatever his 4th or 5th start, that might have been a time where Contreras, I thought after like the 5th ball, might have gone and said, hey, let's calm this thing down, kid. You're okay. I've caught you before. Let's start throwing some strikes.
That's right.
Or, if somehow we would have been able to just throw the ABS zone in there. Because I did wonder if he was just trying to find the box that somebody was not throwing up there for him.
I'll save that for game balls and kicks. But yeah, the ABS was getting a workout yesterday.
Dude.
And there were a couple situations, and there was I think the first at bat that McGill had, the Brewers didn't challenge a close call, and then the guy rifled a single. It's like, why didn't they challenge that?
That is the fun.
Well, yeah,
like,
it's intense. It adds
a challenge. Like, what are you waiting for? Like, it's the 9th inning. It's a swing pitch. Like, it would have been a strikeout. Like,
would have been a strikeout. Would have been a great time to do it. And maybe that was some confidence. Maybe that was some aggression, not being in the game. But it has added a different layer to the ballpark, Drew.
Totally.
That I did not anticipate being an unintended consequence.
Honestly, the strategy of it and the way it adds the energy to the ballpark. and the quickness and efficiency and accuracy of it, this
it's-
could work as well as replays work for anybody besides. I mean, tennis is my favorite example here. This is working exactly like tennis.
Here's a great conspiracy theory for you that, the Brewers, the short kings, the Brewers knew this was in the offing, and short kings have an advantage.
Oh,
the
come on.
ABS,
Let's go.
the reduced size, the shrinking of their strike zone. Like short guys might have an advantage over the Aaron Judges of the world. Brewers looking for every edge.
Every edge.
The
Hey, we're trying to make ourselves 1% better.
You love that.
And by 1 inch shorter, we're making ourselves 10%
By
better.
having an average height of 5'8" across the board.
That. Yes.
And it's the perfect level of
Jet Williams when you need him?
yeah, exactly. And it's the perfect level of drama, and it won't take long, so it won't annoy the people that don't like how much time replay
And it's
takes.
one of the biggest pops you get in the stadium.
Yes.
Like positively or negatively.
Yeah, that's true.
And there's a good dunk on factor on the guy that gets it wrong.
That's
especially if the opponent comes in, misses it. It's a totally different deal. Or like in the Reds game, Eugenio Suarez called out CB Buckner back-to-back pitches. He's like, brother, let's figure this out. Let's figure out this strike zone. And Great American Ballpark blew up like they had won a playoff game, which we all know isn't going to happen for a decade or so. That place was live, and it is a totally different beast in there when they fire that thing up.
It works perfectly to like the human condition of where we're at nowadays, where like people want to dunk on somebody or troll somebody or disrespect someone for thinking they're right, especially an opponent or an umpire. We always hate umpires. We always hate the opponent. So it's like, no, we're gonna let you know you were wrong for it, and everyone's gonna see it. Ha ha ha! Everyone laughs at the opponent.
1.3 inches off.
It's just so funny, and it's gonna add so much juice to this. And it's you get to see that thing come in on the scoreboard. It happens quick, boom, man. Baseball honestly has been killing it with the rule changes. I gotta say, and I'm obviously a late adopter to some of those things, but looks like they hit another one out of the park. No pun intended here.
There you go. Yeah. All right, so I had a random thought, and this may or may not spark some conversation. I was thinking of Armen for a moment because Brandon Sproat takes the mound. And he's wearing number 23. And I don't usually pay attention to uniform numbers and walk-up songs and extraneous crap like that, but caught my eye, especially when he was struggling a little bit. And I thought to myself, when you see the number 23, what do you think of?
Michael, right?
Ricky Weeks.
Yeah, let's go.
Ricky Weeks. Michael Jordan, right?
Wes Matthews.
All right, so Michael Jordan, if you're a young basketball player, even now, a generation removed from his playing time, like Space Jam, video games, YouTube.
Miley Cyrus song talking about Jordan here.
If you're a hockey player, 99 is the number.
Right.
What's the number in football? Is it 12 for Brady, Rodgers, the GOAT?
I think 15 has got itself in there most recently, but probably 12. Yeah, probably 12.
15. And then I'm thinking to myself, what's the number in baseball?
Ooh, that's a tough one. That is a tough one.
44.
What's the best number? 44 for Hank?
Reggie Jackson was 44.
In our market, number 4 is sacred, holy, and
sure, 19.
Always. Yes.
Yeah. 4 for Favre, Moncrief, Molitor, Hall of Fame number. So in the state of Wisconsin, you could be a number 4. Everybody's got their own personal preference.
Sure.
Like when I make me a jersey, I like number 9.
I like that. Yes.
I like single digits, but I like number 9. It's I was born on the 9th of the month, so that works for me. So I'm just like, okay, so what is the number of baseball? And then I didn't have time to Google it or put it into AI. I'm wondering what is the most common number worn by Hall of Famers in baseball? Because baseball's spread apart, and so is football to an extent, because you got Hall of Famers at different positions. Now look at the Celtics, like with all the numbers they have.
Sure.
Like, nobody's like, I want to wear 17 for John Havlicek or 18 for Dave Cowens or something. But there are, so what is when you think of baseball, what are the sexiest numbers? In New York, if you're of a certain vintage, it had to be 7 because you want to be Mick.
For sure.
Right? Or now is a Judge now.
99.
Right? 99 for Judge. Or is it 2 for Jeter?
It's a great question.
I think 99 is a great toss. A great pop, because I think the doubled up on any baseball jersey looks great. 11 in a baseball number is an elite one. Not only because it looks cool and it's clean, but you can also then go by the nickname Sticks when you go with baseball talk. Come on, Sticks, little basic guy.
I love that.
You got to be able to double something up. So 2-2 is a great one in there as well. The 9s is a phenomenal look as well. But right now, at least currently the AI overview on Google, and they can't lie on here, says no single number holds the official title, but number 20 is recognized as the most frequently retired in Major League Baseball.
Aha.
But you don't think of 20,
Not
I
really.
would say. But
Not
so that's
really.
I think that's a great point
Now,
that maybe baseball doesn't
Ed,
have that.
here-
It's often given to the best player of all time number.
Here's
right?
one that I hadn't thought of. The most common uniform number for Pro Football Hall of Fame players is 24. Worn by 8 members, including Willie Brown, Charles Woodson, and Darrell Revis.
I wouldn't even thought of that. Yeah, because we think of what is 21, but he's
21.
24.
Yep.
Yeah, that's really interesting too.
In baseball, the most common numbers, the most stacked numbers for talent are 5, 6, 7, 11, and 24.
But to your point early,
24 is a good looking number.
It is a good one. I
is.
mean,
That's
you just
Willie
look,
Mays.
You
It
look
looks
tough,
good, yeah.
You look fast. You look athletic. But you were giving it almost always to the best player in that sport. Like if or what people thought of, Jordan Gretzky. So wouldn't it be 3? But no one thinks of 3 because like Babe Ruth, that's what I would think is the best baseball player ever. But no one thinks of 3 as like the iconic baseball number. So maybe baseball doesn't have one.
Baseball Hall of Fame said, well, this is from a Reddit discussion on it as well, Drew, on those stacked numbers. Number 20. Now, I'm not trying to not be a historian of the game, but I don't fully remember a lot of Monty Irvin's greatest hits.
I don't.
But Mike Schmidt, Lou Brock, Don Sutton, Frank Robinson doesn't feel like it stacks up with number 5 of Johnny Bench, Brooks Robinson, George Brett, and Albert Pujols.
Yeah.
So there's some other really, really clean ones in there.
Ted
But
Williams.
I
Yeah.
think you hit it on the head, Drew, of why number 9 is generally your favorite selected number. It's like your roulette number. Birthdays always take the cake.
Always.
Right? Birthdays are always going to be a tough one to be able to top. I never was going to have that opportunity. As number 10 on my birthday, they never made the 10 jersey in the extra large. Right? Like there's no way when you were signing up for youth
You're
baseball,
54.
I was getting the last number on the jersey stock.
That's true.
So
Yeah.
when you did like the minors, the 8 through 10 year olds at Whitnell Youth Baseball, that meant 25 because they only went from 1 to 25, then 26 to 50. You best better believe my ass was in that 5-0 to be able to roll through.
Is that why so many big guys in the NFL wanted to wear single digits as soon as it was possible?
Yes, Armen.
They never got a chance to do it ever.
Because
right?
tell me a 300-pounder in the number 9 does not look scary.
I like Lewis.
And looks
I
awesome.
remember Lewis Nix for Notre Dame wore like 6 or 2, and I remember it looked so goofy, but it looked awesome because it was goofy.
So
like that's the reason, right?
You want to have the single digits because you look fast.
10 players in the NFL, in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, wore number 80. Isaac Bruce, Jack Butler, Chris Carter, Tom Fears, Len Ford, Andre Johnson, Steve Largent, James Lofton, Jerry Rice, and Kellen Winslow.
Oh, that's a pretty good one. That's a pretty hard one to top.
Yeah.
80 for wide receivers.
Like if the best player of that group is Rice, like they usually the best
would
of
be
your
it,
position takes that moniker. Like I think that's how we think of it.
I
you
mean,
know?
Jerry Rice is arguably pound for pound the greatest football player of all time.
All
So
time. I
like
think they
that
had that,
would
yeah.
be, if you're looking for the best player, that one would be it.
I think NFL Films, when they did their all-time ranking, had him. It was like 10 years ago, maybe.
Yeah.
They gave it to him, yeah. So I mean, but then again, right? Again, receivers, they were tired of wearing 80, so they took their chance to wear single digits as much as possible, and
That's
the NFL
fair.
allowed it. Everyone's fighting for those single digits. you
Yeah,
know?
no one grabs 78.
No.
That was definitely the one. That's an issued number. That's one that they look like, all right, let's just fit this guy in whatever
Right.
jersey we can get him.
It doesn't work
Let's
both
go.
ways. You don't see running backs trying to wear, 62.
Yeah, and this is why, Armen, when I say so, they put somebody in a 47 jersey or a 43. Good luck. Good luck making the squad. You're destined to fail when they put you in one of those things.
Well, now you're a fast edge if you're in the 40s.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It
Fast edge
reverses.
on the P squad. Yeah.
P squad, yes. All right, that's it. I knew that would spark some conversation. Weigh in 877-794-1973. Game balls and kicks of the balls will be upon us. We'll start flying them.
A good Monday.
After 6 o'clock. Hunter Baumgardt joins us. In fact, we'll be listening to Hunter's report as recap of the Brewers' victory yesterday, and he's going to join us live at 7:25.
And he was standing right where that home run ball landed. He said, this is the view if you were a home run that just got knocked 421 feet by Christian Yelich. Sabermetrics. Let's just knock 1 foot off of that, and we would have had a perfect wake and bake story over at happyplacehemp.com.
Love it. Stay tuned for that as well. It's the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Continuing the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin, 920 Milwaukee, 1070 Madison, everywhere on the iHeart app, streaming live for you early risers, insomniacs, workout sociopaths, just people who like to see the sunrise, streaming live on Facebook, X, and the YouTube. Amazed still how many people fire up YouTube and watch videos while they prepare for their day. I used to see my Sprout do that, and I was like, how the hell can you do that?
What are you doing?
Listening to the radio or having like using your phone as a radio seems natural, but watching stuff while you're brushing your teeth and going about your business like that was never a thing for my generation.
Well, I got to see Vegas Matt. I got to see if he's going to be able to fire it in there and actually hit on these $200 a spin Dragon Link bonus. I got to see a little bit of this. You want to see some of that reaction. Drew, this is that second screen lifestyle that just continues to pump through. I would have loved yesterday the old school mic'd up with Armen Sarian when Yelich hits that blast.
That was so exciting. Well,
you're just 5 years or 6 years before the time.
Yeah, that's the thing. I definitely was. And, sometimes you can get overwhelmed with content, but like a day like yesterday, when we had the buffet, the smorgasbord of, I think, really good sports all day. I mean, I guess the whole weekend. Didn't think we were going to have it because it looked like we were going to get a dud of a day basketball-wise with 2 blowouts. But you had the Yelich one, then you had the crazy the crazy shot in the Duke UConn game. It would have been a good day for a mic'd up. It was a pretty wild scenario. And let me tell you something, nothing hits better after a victory. Billy, as you guys know, we've talked about victory chicken, right? So I'm like, nice Sunday afternoon victory, big victory for the Brewers team. I'm feeling good. I'm going up to pick up my victory chicken.
Let's go.
And I'm my favorite spot. No free ads, but it rhymes with golden chicken on Highway 100 was my favorite spot.
The best
and,
place.
A favorite for young Lena too, by the way. Just mowing down on those chicken thighs, right? Just loving life. So as I'm trying to, as I'm settling in for a nice fried chicken Sunday dinner, boom, we're all of a sudden given a classic in the Duke UConn game. So it was a great mic'd up. Would have been a great mic'd up Sunday. Billy, what's got Billy going right
now? Dude, I'm sorry. I apologize, guys. I have this tendency to have a very, very short attention span. And as we see inside the studio, we are watching our friends over at Fox 6. It kind of double-barreled with the news because we get Channel 12, our friends over here off to the left. We want to make sure we're getting everything. I can't backtrack this, Drew, but they just showed a picture of a 25-pound chocolate bunny.
Game balls for that.
Is that a Costco 25-pound chocolate?
It looks like Sarugi's in Ashwaubenon.
I was going to say, yeah, that's up in the
25-pound. 25 pounds.
It's a good gimmick, Billy.
Chocolate Easter bunny.
I mean, it's wild. Who's eating it? I don't know, but it's
only let's be honest here. And Armen, you're the cost saving guy. You'd be able to analyze this.
Cost per pound.
You're getting like $10 per pound. That's pretty good on straight fudge.
That is good, but Billy, there's a lesson to be learned here that just getting the value doesn't automatically mean it's a good.
It's like a 3-foot tall sculpture
because you got to be able to eat all that. And by the way, when you sculpture something like that, you don't want to eat it. You don't want to ruin it. Who's the jerk that took the ear off? We're about to go on the news and somebody ate the ear.
Weighs 5 pounds.
It's the toughest part though, because the chocolate bunny is the one piece of Easter candy as we're getting into the week that I just can't not be enticed by.
Sure.
Although it's got to be the dumbest thing that you're eating. It's hollowed out in the middle. There's no Snickers to it, right? There's no nougat. We're not throwing any caramel in there.
Pure chocolate, Billy.
There's no peanut butter in the middle here, which would have added itself into a nice Reese's chocolate bunny.
Those are the best. The eggs, oh my God. Those are
You're
the best.
Just sitting there just having like a worse version potentially of a chocolate bar. And a Hershey bar is like the last thing you're grabbing on the candy aisle. But damn, am I buying one every single year? And I'm going to break pieces away that I didn't know that I'm going to drop $260 now on this 25-pound chocolate bunny.
You talk about Viking weekends. There's something primally manly about being able to bite into a big hunk of chicken or a big hunk of chocolate. I still got chicken on my mind. Chocolate. There's something great about that.
I'd double that thing up with chocolate and chicken.
Well, that sounds like a dessert.
A little salty and sweet.
So I have to agree. We used to have Ambrosia in town here, right? Ambrosia Chocolate Factory. That was Larry Bird's favorite smell, by the way. He wrote in his book, 1988. That he loved the way Milwaukee smelled because it had Ambrosia Chocolate Factory
right next to the arena.
Were they doing gimmicks like that? You can still buy that brand of chocolate somewhere, but it's not made in Milwaukee anymore. So I wonder if because that's a smart gimmick. If you're a candy company, just put up a big old 250-pound chocolate bunny or whatever it was.
25-pound chocolate bunny.
Yeah.
That is impressive. Drew, I apologize. Kick to the balls for me for derailing that phenomenal conversation that we were having with my short attention span.
That's good.
I'm sorry, but that is it's getting into the season, and this is also the time where I start finding out all the things that the Easter Bunny is going to bring. The little one, as they find them all around the house.
When I went to see the Easter Bunny, was not a fan.
Not a fan?
I'll send you guys the picture.
I love it.
What is happening here?
She kind of like Santa, though, right?
Like Santa the first time. The second time was a little there. It depends on the moment. Depends on the moment, right?
Brookfield Square.
Classic. 877-794-1973. We're going to put on your Kevlar cups. We're going to go game balls and kicks to the balls. The floor will be yours.
And I got a Blue Devil version right here. I can't wait.
Be sure and load those in. We'll talk to Hunter Baumgardt. In fact, we're going to listen to Hunter's Brewers recap in the next portion of the program, and then he'll join us live at 7:25. Huge weekend for the Brewers. Couldn't script much of a better first three for the Brewers, and we'll talk more about it. Yeah, Brandon Sproat pitched.
Yeah, you listen. Only one way to go.
Got his mulligan out of the way, but the bullpen was spectacular.
Can't get worse.
We'll talk about that as we move forward with HB for Hunter Baumgardt the fourth. A lot of great moments from the ballpark.
Did Sal Frelick knock that ball over the fence?
Yeah, it hit his glove. Yeah, absolutely. All right, we will discuss. It's the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
I'm Doug Russell. A fantastic finish at the yard. You're going to be hearing it all day long.
2-2. Fly ball in deep right. It is way back and gone. Yelich delivers in the clutch.
Jeff Levering on the call on Brewers TV. The Brewers down 7-3 entering the 8th inning, scored 6 runs in the bottom of that frame. The Brewers get the 3-game sweep over the White Sox 9-7 at AmFam. They now welcome in the Rays for 3 starting tonight. Kyle Harrison will pitch against Nick Martinez. College basketball, the Final Four is set. UConn at one point down by 19 against Duke. They storm back and win it 73-72. The Huskies over the Blue Devils. The other game, a blowout. Michigan all over Tennessee 95-62. On Saturday, Arizona and Illinois advanced. The Bucks lose to the Clippers 127-113. The Admirals win at Chicago 3-2. Hour 2 of the Huddle starts now. I'm Doug Russell on Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
Good morning, Wisconsin, and welcome to the Huddle.
I'm all for someone huddling if you have something to say.
It's time to wake up and talk about the teams you love
Everybody wake up! Everybody wake
with the guys you love.
It's just about getting the group together. I need you, you need me today. Let's keep touching each other. Let's make sure we feel each other. Let's make sure we smell each other's breath.
Watch us on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
You need 15 or 20 huddles to correlate with a number of cameras. Take the cameras off the field and there'll be no huddles.
Now gather around because it's time to huddle up.
West left slot, 323 wide stick on one. Ready, Biller for blitz. If it looks like man coverage, I'll check. I'll go 200 get. You got to cut and crack. Now cut and crack. Red right 18 Bob on one. Ready, cut him and crack.
If you look at this play, what we're trying to get is a seal here and a seal here and try to run this play in the alley.
We got exactly what we got to do. All right? That's all the good boy got to do. Let's go out and kick some tape. All right? 1, 2, 3. Keep doing what you're doing. Sit out now and make the play. Be right, all the way outside. Wide, left, fake, 396 bag, D-hand, C puck. Is that long enough for you?
I want you to be proud of your profession. It's a great profession. Go out there and play this ball game like I know you can play it.
With Drew Olson,
Mythical, legendary figure.
Bill Schmid,
Oh, my God. This man's been out all night.
and Armen Sarian.
This is it. Don't get scared now.
Sanchez, we ready?
Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin is on the air.
It's a lovely Monday in the good land. Great day to be in the Huddle. Drew, Billy, and Armen bringing it to you from the Chico's Bail Bond Studios live on Facebook, X, and YouTube, as well as 920 Milwaukee, 1070 Madison, everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. It's a Game Balls and Kicks to the Balls Monday. We'll get that fired up momentarily. Send them to the NicolaLaw.com talking text line 877-794-1973. Our dumb conversation of the day. What's the coolest number in baseball?
I love that one, though.
Because
That might be my
23 is the
favorite
basketball
conversation that we're
number.
ever getting into.
23 is forever the basketball number. 99 is the hockey number, even though it's been kind of retired. And that's almost like now you almost got to find a different number because like 99 is like out there.
Yeah, you try wearing 99. Good luck, guy. Yeah. Cool. Nice.
But, you know,
what's
99
the
was
number in football for the what that you associate instantly with greatness?
It's a tough one. 99 is I always thought kind of like, except for hockey, of course, a clown number, but now it's so cool. So people want to wear 99 now. So it's kind of interesting. That's a great one. Question for baseball though, because and football too, I guess to some extent, you know, you think of who the best player ever was. We had mentioned 34, I think is a good one for football as well. So I don't know.
34 is pretty good across the board.
A lot of good numbers out there.
Yeah, 34 looks good. Now I only think basketball. I don't know. I don't think a whole lot of football. Obviously, Walter and Peyton's is the exception, but like there's a lot of good ones. Maybe it's just because there's so many different guys on the field, but number 4 is hard to beat. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Number 4 is going to be hard to beat, especially when that number 4 is also onto the hockey side, knocking that thing from the blue line, sending the Badgers to the Frozen Four. That was
awesome. Yeah. I mean, just another in our, like you said in the first hour, Drew, our cup runneth over with a smorgasbord of great sports this weekend. That's another one where I don't know a lot of people. They were part. I mean, obviously, this recent game with Ohio State had the Badgers hockey team pegged as a Frozen Four team, but boom, here they are in the Frozen Four. So that's exciting as well. So, you know, we don't have it so bad. Let's just put it that way. Yeah. We always think to ourselves, we fetishize how bad we have it in our local sports, how much heartbreak we deal with.
Thank you.
You know, we lost a High Point. Here we go again. You know what? Some good things do happen, and Badger hockey fans are pretty excited.
Yeah, we have Ben Dexheimer on our team, and you guys don't. So take that.
877-794-1973. All right, before we dive into game balls and kicks and the Monday stuff. Hunter Baumgart's got a recap of yesterday's stirring Brewers victory, a 9-7 comeback special against the Chicago White Sox, who are vanquished. They lose 3. Do you feel worse for the White Sox or for the Duke Blue Devils?
I actually feel worse for the White Sox because those fans were nice yesterday and they were cheering.
Yeah.
They were cheering for their team. And then they realized that they're still the White Sox.
I didn't assault any first base coaches. That's a win.
Yeah, right. I still thought maybe
reference.
the Brewers video department should have put up a "We all hate the Cubs" logo.
there
And
you
seeing if we
go.
could have got that chant rolling. But
There is a special sort of affinity we have with White Sox fans now because of that Cubs thing, and they've
Used to
been
be-
so
they
mad.
used to be the rival.
They used to
now.
be in those Doug Manzolino days, or over
So we
Terry
can all bond
Bevington.
over our mutual hatred of the enemy of my enemy is my friend, or what?
Yeah, maybe
We
so.
can all bond over our mutual hatred of the Cubs.
that guy
All right,
stinks.
let's go to Hunter Baumgart's recap from yesterday's Brewers 9-7 victory.
Thanks, guys. What an epic Sunday afternoon at the ballpark as the Brewers get a 9-7 comeback victory. They were down 4-0 before recording it out. They were down 7-2 in the 6th inning. They have a 6-run 8th inning, highlighted by that 3-run home run by Christian Yelich. This is what Yelich said about the epic celebration that he had when he stood and admired that one.
Is that a flip or a bad drop? What are we talking
It was a drop, yeah. I kind of just got, it kind of just worked out that way. That's how my follow through was. And Sal was pretty much for me to use, screaming at me from the on deck circle. So, it was a cool moment and just a really big win for us today.
That was the first pinch hit home run by Christian Yelich in his career. Brewers manager Pat Murphy talked after the game about the process and the decision to pinch hit Christian Yelich in the 8th inning.
I told him a couple innings before, I said, it looks like you'll hit for Sanchez against Dominguez. I said maybe two innings before, I think I told him before the game, Yelly will only hit you in the 8th or the 9th, and it'll most likely be Dominguez. If we were winning, I wasn't going to use him, so I wanted to get him the day. Sure enough, I told him again, yeah, Yelly, it looks like Dominguez in the 8th or the 9th, and it'll be for Gary.
That was the first pinch hit home run of Christian Yelich's career. Trevor McGill also got his first save of 2026, and the Brewers complete the sweep. They're 3-0. They'll go to try to be 4-0 coming up tonight against the Tampa Bay Rays. Kyle Harrison makes his Brewers debut. This video brought to you by Import Minded, your trusted choice for exceptional vehicle care on South 27th, just north of 894. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Hunter. Hunter Baumgart's going to join us 7:25.
Now that is supreme confidence by Murph. But also,
That's
Drew,
awesome.
the way that the Brewers were battling in the box, no pause yesterday. I mean, they had at one point they were like 2 of 15 with runners in scoring position going into that 8th inning. So like they had so much traffic, they had so many different scoring opportunities that I do understand Murph being like, yeah, we're going to tap into the bullpen. They're going to have to use their closer and get ready, big guy, because you are going to find yourself in there.
It's sort of like UConn with the threes yesterday. They were like 1 for $1 million until they started hitting.
They're 1 of 18.
Right, 1 of 18. Thank you, Billy. That's the correct number. And the Brewers in that situation as well. That's why you keep plugging away. That's why you get back on the horse. That's why you don't give up. That's why you keep trying, because things could change. You don't just sit there and say, hey, oh, well, we can't do this. It's over. No, you keep plugging away. That's why shooters shoot. You shoot through the slump. You don't fight it. So I do like that, Billy. That was great. I love that Murph, and it had it set up. A lot of people think, oh, Murph, he's funny and flips pancakes. No, there's a lot of baseball brilliance in there as well. And I just love Christian Yelich. I mean, in his one moment of maybe a little bit of ego and exuberance, he automatically has to go back and feel bad. It's like, no. That's just the way the follow through happened.
He pimped the hell out of
That's
it.
just the way the follow through happened. It was nothing like that. I just happened to, my shoulders happened to drop.
This
it's
ain't
okay.
the 50s.
Yeah, it's okay,
This
Yelly.
ain't the 50s where, Johnny Logan, the legendary shortstop, used to say, it's like, Eddie Matthews would hit a home run. I'd come up and get dusted. Right?
Yeah.
And Eddie Matthews wasn't pimping any homers, and neither was Henry Aaron back in those days. And then, but the next guy would wear it because that's just the way it used to be. Now
it's okay to feel
you
yourself.
do
a bit.
feel yourself.
Yeah,
Yelich has
boss.
earned the right to
Yeah.
pimp any homer he wants, but when you hit one like that, his first ever pinch hit homer in the situation, the gravitas, the capping of the comeback. In the midst there, I mean, it's game balls and kicks the balls. We should fire that up
Yeah,
because
let's
it's
do it
Monday
real
on the
quick.
program. So on Mondays on the Huddle, we give game balls and kicks the balls. You know the drill, you know the ceremony, you know the pomp and circumstance of the game ball and the kick to the balls. Game ball is for a job well done. It's a triumphant celebration. And today on the Huddle, this is a game ball.
Yelich delivers in the clutch.
Thank you, Jeff Levering, Brewers TV. Conversely, if someone needs a performance improvement plan, they need to do better. You want to give them a little wake-up call, put them on double secret probation. Kick to the huevos sounds like this.
Utterly impossible.
Utterly impossible.
I had to get a
some wrath.
Even now, that for some that was a great moment. For some, it was a moment of absolute collapse. But I had to get that one in there.
Tobacco Road, it'll be.
Utterly impossible.
The North Carolina people are cheering that one, whereas the Duke people,
man.
How does Hubert Davis feel today?
Good question,
Billy.
He's wondering if he should apply for the Duke job.
I was going to say, he's like, John, you need a little help?
Kenny Smith said, you better be ready to retire at UNC because Hubert was ready to retire here.
How about John Shire gets fired? They hire Coach K and
that'd be awesome.
John Shire takes the job with the Tar Heels, and then let's see. Well, Coach K, I was going to say Coach K could take the Tar Heel job, and then him and Belichick, but that joke that never had legs.
No.
The geezers at Caesars.
And I'm giving another L to Chicago, by the way. Hey, I'm giving another L to Chicago. I mean, I know it's Northbrook, so it's like still.
I like that one.
It's still a world away from the actual city of Chicago, but Glenbrook North's finest, John Shire,
Circle.
Another L. Saw a tough night for Northbrook, Illinois last night.
That's awesome.
All right, so game balls and kicks. Let's go. We mentioned Badger hockey. Game ball. Let's get it.
Yelich delivers in the clutch.
Do we have our man Brian Posick's call of that?
I'll effort it here in a second.
Effort that because it was great.
It was amazing. In the final, the closeout, they're down 3-1 with just over 5 minutes to go. And two of like the greasiest goals you're going to find in a 2 minute or in like a 40-second span. They get two big time rebounds, just right place, right time, puck deflects right out to them, tie it up with 3 minutes to go. And then, I mean, you want to talk about a Jack Hughes moment, Drew, because it looks like the Badgers are going to draw or are going to be called for a penalty into a slash into the corner. And the dude from Michigan State trying to make sure he gets the call, gets an embellishment call, and instead they go 4-on-4 instead of a power play to close out the game. It was a huge moment, and all of a sudden, right off of the rip into overtime, Dexheimer, the captain, being able to snipe one from the blue line, and nothing better than your own guys, a little Spartan on Spartan crime, blocking and screening the goalie. My man had no idea where this puck was until it snuck right up underneath his glove and into the nylon behind. It was a phenomenal push. And now April 9th might be the time to go out to the desert because the Badgers will be playing in the Frozen Four.
Giddy up. 877-794-1973. Get us your game balls and kicks to the balls today.
Should I start on a positive, Drew? Because as I jot down my notes for game balls and kicks to the balls, it appears I'm quite negative. I've got a large amount of kicks to the balls to deliver.
Hey, man. But sometimes that's the way it rolls. You're generally a positive, upbeat person.
Yeah, generally
You're a glass half full guy.
Yeah, generally a positive person. Now, Alec Boehm's parents probably deserve a kick to the balls after he has to file a civil suit after they're siphoning millions out of his account to pay off their personal expenses.
How about that?
That would be a good one for a kick to the balls. But let me give a game ball to somebody that I think I delivered quite a few kicks to last year. Shohei Ohtani, otherwise known as Joey Ortiz.
Yelich delivers in the clutch.
Shohei Ohtani, that's amazing.
My man's riding a 3-game hitting streak so far on the young season. 455 batting average, but still doing the sick stuff with the glove. I mean, yesterday, in the midst of a brutal first couple of innings, that double play to get out of an inning was phenomenal, Drew. And he has had as many detractors and people trying to take his job and people on the microphone like me trying to give away his job to anybody and everybody at the deadline last year. To be able to silence that and hopefully come out with his best year this season. I mean, they bumped him all the way up to 6 in the lineup yesterday.
Yeah, come on.
I mean, goodness gracious. Yeah. When you're making those kind of moves for Shohei Ohtani, you better watch out. So Joey O, I would like that song to roll through. We had the Yelich chants lead to the walk-off. Maybe Joey O, Joey O.
He's getting the apology from you.
Well done, Joey O.
Nothing like a how do you like me now moment. Yeah. And, we're out here.
Bearded Joey Ortiz just might be a badass.
The beard out here, everyone's giving up on their guys. Right, let's give your guy a chance.
The thing with baseball is, look what happened. Brewers had a rough start yesterday, still won the game. You can have a bad year and bounce back.
Big time.
Right.
Mhm.
And Rengifo, Exhibit A, guy who didn't have a great year. Brewers get him. Is he a bounce back guy? Well, maybe. Right. But he got a hell of a sequence last evening or yesterday.
Yep.
Coming up with his first Brewers hit, which was a 2-strike, 2-out job, 2 runs to bring him within a run. That set the stage for Yelich's blast. That was a pretty good moment for him.
Yeah, and Drew, I mean, you want to talk about that's baseball luck. He hit into 2 of the
scorched
worst luck line drives to start the game.
Scalded balls and didn't get anything for it.
And you could tell the frustration as he almost spiked the bat after the second one. He's like, all right, I come over here. I think I'm going to be the third baseman every single day. I don't start on opening day for something called David Hamilton, who had a 560 OPS, and now everybody's favorite new Brewer because he's got 4 stolen bases.
Yeah.
He's like, wait, what am I doing here? And to be able to battle through that at bat and take the 2-2 pitch to be able to get it to 3-2, spectacular job by Rengifo staying in it. And if you're going to win games, you need dudes like that. Seems like a legit vet that they were able to bring in.
Game ball to Billy and Miss Allie for taking the boys to the ballpark and getting the players drip necklaces.
Yeah, shout out.
Yelich delivers in the clutch.
Boys wearing that,
Yeah, the only tough thing was it kind of really gets stuck in your hair. Now that thing is a sweet deal though.
Okay.
It looks phenomenal. It also does snap back pretty quick at you. You start pulling that thing down and bop right in. So there were some good lessons learned. So game ball to the Brewers for being able to teach some adversity training and also some listen to mom and dad because we might not be the stupidest people on the world.
Right.
There you go.
You don't pull that thing down every single time after we tell you not to.
Learn your lesson.
Learn your
Right.
lesson.
Yeah. I'm going to give a kick to the ball as well.
Utterly impossible.
Not really to Purdue fans in Purdue, but not for anything they did wrong, but for having to experience what I like to talk about, the cookies theory, many a times, Billy, and unfortunately my lovely bride, Laura, had to experience that Saturday night as Purdue had a really inspired, well-played first half, took a lead into the 7-point lead into the halftime break against Arizona, and started dancing with dreams of maybe another Final Four in Indianapolis, a home game, a home team. Painter does it again with the senior group, and they get roundly dump trucked in the second half by Arizona. And Laura said to me, I wish we would have just gotten blown out from the start because she had to believe and dream that they might have a chance. So kicking the balls to Purdue fans for experiencing the cookies theory. And another kick in the balls for me, who when I said to her, at least Arizona covered, I didn't really get the requisite cheer that I thought I should get. She was not
said, Armen, I don't
that.
care about her $5.
Armen, you're not in Vegas.
Oh,
No, but I did have that ticket, though.
If you talk to Lara about like point spreads and gambling, trying to find the silver lining, and you're just back from Vegas and you're going back to Vegas, is that like me pissing my wife off when I get back from Mexico speaking Spanish?
Yeah, probably. It's the same thing.
She's not a fan.
But the funny thing about that, really quick, and Billy would like this, because Billy's more of a, the true spirit of the gambling, that I am, because Billy knows I try and take my minus 600s and stuff. When I talk about the emotional hedge, Laura doesn't understand why I wouldn't take the team with plus money all the time. She's like, but you can win more money that way. But you can win more money, so I just don't get it. So that's the true spirit. So
there you go.
A little affinity. So a tough one for Purdue Boiler Nation, who had a nice run. I told her no shame in losing Arizona, but a tough one when they really looked like they had a chance in that first half.
They did.
Everything was going right.
They were playing well though. They were shutting Arizona's water off. Then it was over.
How? It was a rough one for Iowa.
Oh man,
God,
another one.
Dolph
for
will
Iowa.
be here. That was a rough one. How about a kick to the balls? Well, in general, not that they need it. They've been repeatedly kicked.
Mm-hmm.
The cup
Quite
has got some
significantly.
dents, but to the Bucks for their loss on Sunday against Wemby and the Spurs, and being officially eliminated from playoff contention. We're on to the lottery.
Yes.
For the first time in 10 years, and not for nothing, the stat that came out last night. There have now been 81 games in the NBA this season decided by 30 or more points.
Oh,
a
that's
new
bad.
single season record, beating last year's mark of 80. And the Bucks have contributed 6 to the kitty of 80 losses by 30 or more.
We get extra ping pong balls for that.
Bucks, historic,
Sadly,
a franchise record of being a historic getting thumped by 30 or more.
It is it's a remarkable league because it feels like the strangest NBA season that we've had in a while, where there's such a brutal discrepancy between the good teams and the absolute awful teams, and the ones that are just choosing to be as bad as
the
humanly
Pacers
possible.
won a home game yesterday. Or they hadn't won it forever.
I was going to say, I think they haven't won in what, 2 months almost at home.
It's disgusting.
Tony in Oak Creek said, kick to the balls of the Bucks for being the only downside of the sports weekend, but game ball to sports. The tough thing was I was ready to celebrate because they didn't lose by 20 yesterday, though. Right? I mean, they get absolutely mollywopped by the Spurs.
Yeah, but it was
then
also
didn't lose by 20. They were out of the game.
Where
it
did
wasn't necessarily close all night.
Where'd the Clippers come from? Because it was like, wasn't it? Were they on a?
They had a long. They had a
I was gonna
back.
say, were they on a back-to-back? And it was a 2:30 start.
Yeah, I think they were flying in from Miami or
well,
not Atlanta, because there's no way James was not letting them have a night off in Atlanta.
No, you think that'd be a schedule loss, but it clearly isn't, I guess, when you play the Bucks. Like, that's a schedule win.
Well, while we're talking Bucks, game ball to Brook Lopez.
Yelich delivers in the clutch.
If by the Buck standard, and this might get some controversy because I know that Chris Middleton, not only like jersey retirement, but probably statue next to Giannis at some place because Chris Middleton was that vital to the operation. But Brook Lopez was such a key contributor. You can almost make a case that they should think about retiring that. The double ones. We're talking about great numbers.
Oh,
Giannis said so. Giannis
Brook
tweeted all about
Lopez,
it.
His impact on that, because as great as Drew Holiday was and integral to that championship run, Brook was the third, man. Brook was the third amigo. He was the third musketeer. And what he did offensively, letting them stretch, and just defensively being the glue guy and changing shots and being a rim protector.
Being Giannis's anchor, who
and
he's talked about
again,
many times.
Miles Turner was supposed to be a younger version of Brook Lopez. He hasn't carried Brook's jock this year.
Not even close to it.
Because he can't even get on the court in the fourth quarter. But Brook Lopez's impact on this franchise, I would say, his contributions are up there with some other guys that are in the rafters.
I was going to say,
if you're going to consider it, you got to consider Brook Lopez.
People will forget part of it that he was here for 7 seasons, right? Like, and he wasn't the first one to get brought in, but he was the dude that completely changed the way that they played going into 19 when they ended up being the best team in the league, right? And couldn't ultimately get home.
Right.
I wonder, Drew, if it'll be the Middleton and Giannis matching statues, or because it's Middleton and Lopez, or is it Holiday and Lopez that reach out to pick the big fella up? That one image is about as synonymous with Bucks basketball as it could be. And Brook might be a part of that one, but 7 years, the amount of huge games played,
the title run. Yeah.
There's no way that you can't put the 11 up there. If you have freaking Brian Winters up there, you got to have Brook Lopez, right? Like, I mean, all due respect to Brian Winters and his family, right? Like, there's a number of guys up there that you laugh at, and that one needs to be up there. If those
I think we're looking at 4. I think we're looking at 4 numbers.
People say like 16. Bob Lanier wasn't here that long. He had a huge impact, but it wasn't here that long, and he's retired. So
I mean, there's a lot like that.
I mean,
there's no question those guys.
He should be in the discussion. So every time I see Bro, and then you think about the juice that he brought him and Robin and the fun and
100%.
Basketball was fun.
And I think real ball knowers understand his impact on that team, like you mentioned. Defensively, the anchor for Giannis, all those things. The way he stretched out the game as a 3-point shooting big man, Billy, also was, you mentioned it, was a huge thing. Had a lot of clutch moments, so I would totally agree.
877-794-1973 spins us in back to our numbers conversation, because Brandon Sproat warming up wearing number 23. I'm like, oh, that's a that's a basketball number. What's the coolest baseball number? And we've not come to even anywhere close to a consensus on that yet. So what is the coolest number in baseball? What's the number that people want? Is it, Mike Trout's been a great player. It depends on who you grow up idolizing. My daughter loved Bill Hall, and she was a number 2 for her
That's a
career.
cool number. 2 is a cool number.
A cool number.
Well,
Bryce Durant sporting it.
As a pear-shaped youth and watching Prince Fielder execute his toil around American Family Field, 28 was a hard one to beat.
That's a good one.
You want to be first base. You be the large kid that they just put over at first base because you can't do anything else. You knew you were trying to get 28 on that jersey.
877-794-1973. Hour away from Hunter Baumgardt. When we come back, Scott Dolphin's going to join us. No, he's not. He's out.
He is in West Virginia.
Right. He's hiking. So no halftime today.
Well, we got a lot of text submissions as well.
We got a lot of text to spin through, and Billy's got some sound for us that's going to make people chuckle. Just don't go anywhere. It's the Huddle. It's Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Drew, Billy, and Armen bringing it to you from headquarters on this Game Balls and Kicks to the Balls Monday in the good land. This portion of the program brought to you by Game Day Men's Health. Visit them if you're not feeling up. You want to, well, nobody's thought about New Year's resolutions, right? We're in coming towards the end of Lent if you made a sacrifice. But if you really want to get in shape and feel better about yourself, make GameDayMen'sHealth.com a stop today. Sign up for a free, no obligation, no cost, nothing, little consult. Go do a blood test and see if you can benefit from the services offered at Game Day Men's Health. Clinics all over the place. I go to the one in Brookfield. Shout out to Patty and Abby and the crew there. And Ryan's team is fantastic at all their locations in the Milwaukee area. There's one in Middleton. They're statewide. They're nationwide. Check out GameDayMen'sHealth.com. All right, Game Balls and Kicks to the Balls. We mentioned the Badgers men upsetting Michigan State, top seed on the Frozen Four. Let's give a game ball to our pal Brian Posick, who is the voice of Badgers hockey. Hit it, Armen.
Hit it, Armen.
Pipe bomb.
Well, first I'll give him the game ball. I want to make sure we do this in order. Sorry.
Yelich delivers in the clutch.
That's what you're doing. Yeah. That's what you're doing. Well done. Yeah,
right,
sure.
Here's the call.
He roughed up. The Badgers hold his own. Dexheimer shoots one. Badgers score! Badgers score! Ben Dexheimer from out high right. It skipped off traffic past Trey Augustine. Oh, I can't believe this. It feels so good to finally say it again. Wisconsin is going to the Frozen Four. The Badgers just knocked out the Big Ten champions, and now they'll take their chances in Las Vegas.
Oh, baby.
Give him a chip and a chair and see how it happens in Las Vegas. That is phenomenal call.
Great call, BP.
A little tip of the cap to Matt LePay there for his Final Four call.
Yes.
In 2000.
Can't
I believe I'm going to say it.
Yes. Oh, my God.
Tip of the cap.
And in an era where we love authenticity in broadcasting, is there anyone more authentically, exuberantly excited
than Brian
in that
Posick?
moment when he goes complete excitement? Then
Yes.
Brian Posick, that's so cool.
And what
so
is
happy for him.
And you want to talk about a day and age in baseball where you couldn't celebrate, you couldn't enjoy it. That's what you want to hear from your call, is somebody that wants to see the team have that kind of success. And I mean, he has called how many different games where he was wondering, I'm definitely not seeing this team go back to the Frozen Four. And this year is specifically because after how good they were last year, there were some moments, some tenuous moments for the Badgers hockey men this year.
Mike Hastings and the crew get a game ball for they're going to the Frozen Four and trying to double up and make Wisconsin the capital of college hockey. Well, let's do a game ball before anybody says you guys are missing River Falls, UW River Falls women.
Yelich delivers in the clutch.
Title holders.
Giddy up.
Holy River Falls. I mean, what a celebration they're having.
Champions.
I mean, goodness gracious, the celebrations at the tap are unbelievable up in River Falls this year.
They're getting tired of all the winning. They're stacking up hardware. I mean,
it's too much winning.
Too much.
This is the River Falls Renaissance here.
Most importantly, we have to win the Frozen Four because then we can immediately steal another thing off of Minnesota. We are the state of hockey then. I mean, take that, Minnesota.
Take it.
You guys think that you're the state of hockey. You also try to claim yourself as a state of 10,000 lakes, 10,000 weak lakes. You want to come up here some real lakes, go up here in 28 chain of lakes.
There you go.
Up in Eagle River. So we steal that one. We'll steal the state of hockey. It's our sport now.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I think we have more lakes than them anyway.
We do have more lakes than them and better ones.
Yeah,
like that's the part. Better lakes as well.
It's not just quantity. It is definitely quantity.
Game ball. How about this one? Courtesy of Adam McCalvey for the shout out and the amazing picture to Luis Perez.
Yelich delivers in the clutch.
He is the Brewers Director of International Player Evaluation. Now, what does that mean? Well, it means that he helps sign guys like Jackson Chourio, Jesus Madej, and Jefferson Caro, who yesterday made his major league debut. McCalvey puts in this tweet with the picture. Caro texted Perez at 12:30 Eastern time, 12:30 a.m. Miami time on Sunday morning, telling him that he would make his major league debut in Milwaukee. Perez said, I'll see you there. He jumped on the first thing smoking, a 6 a.m. flight up to Milwaukee, may have had a connecting flight, and got himself into the building to be able to watch the major league debut. Some people think, all right, cool, whatever. He went to go see the guy play. That's the kind of relationships and the intention to detail and the intentionality that you need in that position to be able to do it to the elite levels the Brewers have done, right? Now, it seems like they might have struck gold again. Did you see the 13-year-old that they just signed?
Yeah.
Now, listen, we can say what we want about that.
Hey, man.
My man, 13 years old, he's hitting baseballs way further than I've ever seen somebody hit a ball.
And that's what the Brewers have done well. They found them at that young age.
You got to be able to find that diamond in the rough. And the only way you can consistently go to these families and say, we do know what is going to be best for your son to not only change his life, the entire family's life, and also make his dreams potentially come true.
Mm-hmm.
It's because you take the personal connection to a different level. Shout out Luis Perez. And that's
Absolutely.
a massive, massive deal for the Brewers.
Exactly.
Is their international scouting, and it's stuff like that is A1.
And the momentum you can build when you have other success stories. I mean, Jackson was 14 when he started looking at him with, I think it was Vera Cierto, the other one that was the Brewers representative. As a 14-year-old, they were watching him first. He had the MLB showcase where he was a little underwhelming that day. They were excited because they knew the kind of player they had. And now he's had the success. So there you go. You can say, look, what we've done with him, you can trust us to really help your son. And that is a huge thing for the Brewers, who have to be card counters at the table and play this thing a different way to find this talent at a younger age. They've been able to do it. So, yes, well done by both of those guys.
Brewers
Great
starting
stuff.
their season 3-0, the opposite of what happened last year.
Indeed.
As they were running the table in their opening series.
So now that means that they're just going to blitz the Rays today, right? Like if we go completely on the opposite of what happened last year, we got Elvin Rodriguez to buy our own guy last year in the fourth game of the year.
A blowout today, right?
So Kyle Harrison's going to go out here and pitch a gem. How about kicks of the balls, Drew, to the Hammett bone?
Oh,
Utterly impossible.
Now you gave us the flare in the beginning of spring training. This stupid little bone right here in the bottom part of your hand is going to give us all a lot of problems. And now it gives our guy Andrew Vaughn a problem. On a swing, I'm like, wait, he didn't get hit in the hand. He didn't get hit in the hand. What do you mean we have a fracture in the left Hammett bone? That's a wild situation and as unlucky as you can get.
Bottom hand, too. Yeah, it's a 4 to 6 week deal. Rough. Yeah, he and Churro. So and again, to come back from a 7-run deficit in a game when you're already sitting because of facing the guy that they face.
Yeah, facing the lefty K.
Like Bowers and Yelich are on the bench and Mitchell. So, okay, well. And to come back like that. But, yeah, that was a tough break for Vaughn.
Man.
But, again, Brewers, they'll figure out a way. Gary Sanchez playing at first base. Gary Sanchez, game ball to Gary Sanchez.
Yelich delivers in the clutch.
Controversially reviewed infield single. Gary Sanchez. And guess what? Tomorrow on the program, Bill Schroeder makes his season debut.
All right.
Yelich delivers in the clutch.
When Sanchez, first of all, I thought he was out, and then the replay, Murakami had his foot off the bag just a little bit. Sanchez gets the infield hit. Adam McCalvey pointing out it's like his 50th career infield single, which
that's pretty amazing. Remarkable at his stature.
And I was, we're going to ask Rock tomorrow, because Rock was not known as a speed merchant, but I think Rock was even faster than Gary Sanchez going down.
Well, he was a defense.
Sanchez was thrown out on a great play earlier in the game, and it was like, that was the play. Yeah, that's right. He was out, but then it was overturned. But 99% of guys in the major leagues beat that out. It's not even a close.
Not close.
Play.
Yeah, it's very true.
The Brewers got a break on that.
Also, game ball to Gary Sanchez for putting the absolute fear of God in a family or a group of friends that were sitting out on that first row of the Leinenkugel's barrel yard, and he hit that ball right behind him.
Jeez.
I mean,
that delivers in the clutch.
Dude, that laser beam that he hit in the first inning had to have been the fastest a baseball has ever traveled right into someone's nacho plate, because it hit the wall right behind where those people were eating. And I can't imagine that was a sight while you have the hanging pretzel right there, Drew. If you're like, all right, let me grab a little bit of this.
Uh-oh.
Whoa.
Yeah.
What just happened?
What was
here?
that?
That thing ricocheted right past somebody's ear.
Should we do a kick in the balls? We haven't had one yet. I'm
Utterly impossible.
a little surprised it took this long to come up, but Janny and Appleton brought up Tiger Woods.
Yeah, that's
Tiger
a huge
Woods,
kick.
He said, Janny said, kicking the balls to Tiger Woods once again made a horrible decision to drive impaired. Tiger should never get behind the wheel of a vehicle again. Blah, 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 blah. As we know, he could have a driver. The refrain you've heard from a lot of people this weekend, like, why doesn't he have a driver at all times? But Tiger Woods is going to be one of the most enigmatic sports figures of our lifetime when all is said and done. Drew, Billy, wouldn't you agree?
I was thinking about that because the way you have to be wired, LeBron has had like almost a perfect
squeaky clean.
Yeah.
When people say it's impossible, you look at LeBron. It's not impossible to not get in trouble.
But everybody's flawed, right? Yep. But in order to be the best of the best at that elite level, I think you got to have a little crazy in you.
For sure.
Jordan was crazy.
Pure irrational crazy.
Yep. Right. The obsession.
Well, just the obsession. Yeah. And when you can't compete or you don't have the outlet, you think about with Tiger, like even anytime he picks up a club, even if it's just, playing for himself, it isn't what it was when he was at his peak. He can't.
Never going to be able to get that dragon.
No, never. And it's like, oof, man, and he's clearly, if it's trending the way it is, he's got painkiller problems of some kind. And it's like, come on, man. It's like, in some ways I feel empathy. Other people, he's stupid, rich. Like, no, I feel empathy for him.
Well, I think
I'm with you, Drew. And it's
good therapy. And
it does not take away from the fact that it's a horrible decision. And it's one that could have put a lot of people's lives in danger. Top of mind, his own, right after already learning the lesson. But I'm not going to go full Dan Rappaport, the Barstool golf guy who was crying on the video about it. But it's like, it's very difficult to, Drew, like you just said, be able to put yourself in the same sphere and thought process of somebody that's been at that level of the mountaintop, right? And had to be that insanely competitive with now not being able to potentially have all of the same. People do this when they reach like 70, 80 years old. They don't have the same control over what their decision-making process. My man's got no control, it seems like, being able to understand right from wrong in terms of getting behind the wheel. And it is, I 1000% agree, you should just get a driver. You can tell that to a lot of people that should not be driving anymore.
Absolutely.
And it is one of the most difficult conversations because you're taking away their independence. But now you've lost it. Right now, because of your decision making, you're going to lose it for a long time. And it's really disappointing for somebody that, like, he is. We talk about Jordan right now. The only time I ever watched Jordan play, like, cognitively and remember it, is when he was at the Wizards. And he was like the old guy playing at the YMCA.
Yeah.
Tiger is the greatest of all time that I actually got to watch at a large peak of his power. And it's insanely sad to think that Thanksgiving night is like the 8th worst thing that's happened in the time.
Absolutely.
You start stacking it up. That's near the bottom of the horrible things that have happened in this fall from grace, where he was at the absolute top.
I can't really see anything changing because I don't know who's going to tell him that. Like, who's going to make him change? Like, who's going to be the person that has the power to do that? And I don't think there's anyone around him. Maybe I'm
Charlie.
wrong.
I was just going to say, sadly, it's probably him.
Maybe him, but I don't know. I mean, it's got to be hard when your father's Tiger Woods. These are tough things. So we'll see. It's got to come from him. But the reality is, I also feel for golf fans who want their sport represented by one of the greatest players in a different way, not having to deal with like the disappointment of the personal side of it. And it is what it is. I mean, I think it's a bummer for golf fans. So
that's right. 877-794-1973. Get us your game balls and kicks to the balls. When we come back, we'll spin through a little who's hot and who's not. Hunter Baumgardt joins us at 7:25. Talk about ththose red hot Brewers 3-0 to open the 2026 championship season. You're listening to The Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Continuing the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin, 920 Milwaukee, 1070 Madison, everywhere in the iHeart app. Streaming live, Facebook, X, YouTube. Armen's back from Vegas. It's Game Balls and Kicks of the Balls Monday. The Brewers are hot after a great comeback. We had awesome Final Four action,
good.
Qualifying action in the NCAA Tournament. We got hockey all over the place. Oh, my goodness. Game Balls and Kicks, 877-794-1973. But it's time for a little Who's Hot, Who's Not. Donovan Jorgensen brings us this segment. Billy, what do we got?
Well,
folks at Donovan Jorgensen.
Hard to say anybody is going to be hotter than a couple of Milwaukee Brewers that you throw in here. 429 for Bryce Terang as he reaches base again yesterday and extends
Big knock
that
off a lefty.
Big run. And Drew, the hit off a lefty is one that I often wonder. There was a point in time in Bryce Terang's career and also for all young players in baseball today where the numbers nerds, sorry, I meant analytics people, would tell you he can't be hitting against a lefty. He can't be hitting against a lefty. The only way that you learn, I believe, to hit against lefties and do it at the major league level is by getting at bats against lefties. And there's certain times where, for sure, we can be captive and held by the numbers, but sometimes you got to let the guy go out there and prove to you that he can do it. And Bryce Terang's development, 1,000% in there. And also, I mentioned him earlier, shout out Joey Ortiz because he has been phenomenal to start the year off. I know he had 3 Ks yesterday, did get himself a base hit, but was a part of that rally. And one other one, Brandon Lockridge. Now, you mentioned he was very, very close to being able to potentially run himself into the who's not category, but keeps himself in the mix here. And as Garrett Mitchell sits down against the lefty, Brandon Lockridge going to find his way into the lineup probably a little bit more and more.
That's right.
Hey, good 2 games, though, for Garrett. You mentioned him. A lot of people always been throwing shade at him. He's batting .400, albeit in limited appearances.
Didn't have a hit on opening day.
No, and that's what I guess is the biggest thing for some people. But, hey, 1025 OPS is good enough for Boss Dobler. No, Dobler here with the kick to the balls for Mitchell. Saturday should have been an error, he said. Tristan Peters doubles on a line drive to fielder. Brandon Lockridge deflected by his. Okay. You know, like if you don't like a guy, I get it. But
it wasn't an error because there was an out on the play.
Yeah, tell him, Drew. Yeah, Drew knows. Come on. Error. Yeah, no, there wasn't an out. That's how that works.
Had that not
he just
been
doesn't like Garrett.
Had it not been an inning-ending play, well, that was the Lockridge play, right? Had it not been an inning-ending play and a trailing runner advances, you can score the error then. But that wasn't an error. So.
And your explanation is correct, and thank you for bringing logic. Let's just be honest, Boss Dobler, we love you, but he just doesn't like Garrett, and that's driving his.
But I appreciate the commitment to the.
He's
bit.
committing to it. I mean, he's going to be an all-star this year, and he'll find he wants to be right. I get it. That's what we do.
You're predicting Garrett Mitchell all-star?
No, I didn't say that. I said if he was, but yeah, well, the Meerkat. You know,
well, I got an all-star for you who was a former Milwaukee Brewer. This one might hurt a little bit. Who's hot? I don't know anybody's hotter than former Brewer Joey Wiemer.
Yeah, he's playing well.
1, 2, 3, 4, 8 for 8 as a member of the Washington Nationals. He has not been retired.
Unbelievable.
As a member of the Nationals, he's slugging a whopping .233 as he hits another tater yesterday off Shota Imanaga, and the Nationals take 2 of 3 from the Northsiders this week.
What's crazy about this young group of Brewers the last few years is Joey was a part of that. I got his T-shirt jersey. Joey was a part of that, and then obviously it just didn't go well, and then it was gone to the ether. But I always thought, I wonder if he'll ever get another shot. Here's, great one for second chances. Joey Wiemer's taking advantage of it. I mean, I haven't really watched him much. I'm glad he did it against the Cubs. It was like,
we love that.
That was huge.
It's our favorite part.
Who's hot? Who's not? Who's not? Caleb Durbin.
Oh, tough start for Caleb.
A little of a rough start. It's 3 games, and people in Boston are like, "Oh my God, this guy sucks worse than anybody's ever sucked."
Well, and they're booing.
And then Brandon Sproat pitched.
They're booing Bichette too. I saw that.
Whoa, really?
Yeah,
they're booing Bo Bichette.
Like, come on,
Mets fans are
watch the games and have some pages. But that's sport. That's what we do. That's sports.
Absolutely.
Fans. You love sports.
Who's not? I know we may have mentioned it on Thursday. Who's not? Still O'Neal Cruz, because I still don't know how he could not play those 2 fly balls that ended up booting Skeens in the first one. And it actually had me yesterday, Drew, at the game yelling and hoping that a White Sox player would just O'Neal Cruz it and not be able to catch the ball or try to go full Savannah Bananas. And I thought he was going to try to hit it back here and get a trick play point.
Yep.
Also, who's not variety? This one for Armen Sarian before we wrap this up with Donovan Jorgensen, Heating and Cooling, largest employee-owned HVAC system in the state of Wisconsin. Jackie Bradley Jr.
Come on, man.
As my man goes 0 for 4 for the Indianapolis Clowns against the Savannah Bananas in Disneyland this weekend. He was the number 1 overall pick in the banana ball draft. How can you do that?
You can't even do it in that league, man.
Oh, my goodness. That's all Armen needed. Oh, my goodness. Shout out to Donovan Jorgensen. It's going to be 70 degrees in our area today.
Going to be getting some work.
Thinking about that air conditioning, get that thing tuned up.
60-month, 0% interest deal going on right now in Select System. DonovanJorgensen.com.
It's the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
I'm Doug Russell. High drama at American Family Field.
2-2.
Fly ball to deep right. It is way back and down. Yelich delivers in the clutch.
Jeff Levering on the call on Brewers TV. Milwaukee down 7-3 entering the 8th inning. Exploded for 6 runs, highlighted by Christian Yelich's first ever pinch hit home run. The Brewers earned the 3-game sweep over the White Sox 9-7, the final on Sunday. The Brewers now welcome in the Tampa Bay Rays for 3 starting tonight. College basketball, the Final Four is set. UConn eliminates Duke in a thriller 73-72. The other game in the Elite Eight, not nearly as dramatic. A blowout. Michigan dumps Tennessee 95-62. NBA on Sunday, the Bucks lose again, this time to the Clippers 127-113. They'll host the Mavericks tomorrow night. The final hour of the Huddle starts now. I'm Doug Russell on Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
Dominating a Monday in the good land. It's the Huddle. Your pals Drew, Billy, and Armen bringing it to you. Armen back from Vegas. If you're just waking up, you missed 2 really good hours.
Yes, you did.
But we still have plenty in the chamber. Just saying.
Yes, we do have plenty in the chamber. Our last hour here, and we have Hunter Baumgardt.
Yeah, he's coming up.
Game balls and kick of the balls are rolling in, so we've got some
game
great
balls
stuff.
And kicks for sure. 877-794-1973 gets you into the NCAAlaw.com talking text line, and then you can talk to people who are listening to us on 920 Milwaukee, 1070 Madison, the iHeartRadio app, which is everywhere. Podcast available. If you missed the first 2 hours, you can get them on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, the iHeartRadio app, and of course, we're streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, and the X. Game balls and kicks of the balls. It's basic, it's obvious, but we haven't done it yet. Game ball, Iron Eagle.
Yelich delivers in the clutch.
He doesn't miss. He's right up there, man, with the greats.
No, and shout out, man, that broadcast group. I might not be the biggest Jim Nantz fan in the world, right? So
I'm right there with you. My disdain for Jim Nantz approaches Zabe's disdain for Al Michaels.
Oh, it's just
there.
Crazy,
right? Yes.
But does it depend on the sport? Like, do you like it more in Masters versus football?
The Butler
versus,
cabin's perfect for him.
That's where he should be. He should be a golf guy, and I think he's a phenomenal golf play-by-play guy.
Yeah.
I also feel bad for him because he has to work with Tony Romo, right? Like that's a tough assignment. But Iron Eagle is the best that there is, and that broadcast crew of him, Grant Hill, and Bill Raftery. Bill Raftery's A1. There's not going to be one that replaces it.
Raph's awesome, man.
But Grant Hill, I think, has been, and maybe a little unsung in this, he plays to all of it, right? Like, because he was the best player of a generation at one point, right? Like before the injuries, he was the best player a lot of people had seen. He was outside of Michael and all those guys, but like he was the guy that might take over.
They were calling the next Michael.
He could be the next one.
All that stuff.
The one that titles at Duke. But yesterday you could tell like he's just a fan of the sport, even though he's looking over at Raph on that sweet video that everybody has now of the broadcaster saying, how do you not just hold the basketball? Bill, just hold the basketball. Well, you can tell his heart's hurting for Duke, but he was still dialed in on the game because it's just an elite moment there. Those three, that's a tremendous Final Four pairing.
It is. And Grant's always been a stately professional on and off the court. He does it as a broadcaster, doesn't draw attention to himself, but loves to explain the game and it picks his spots. He's perfect in that role. Yeah, that must have been extra painful for him. Thought he was going to see a Duke Final Four. Had to see them lose in that fashion. But that grouping, that pairing, I mean, that broadcast team, there have been so many good ones. That's a really good one.
So you think that was a good call. What do you guys think the Sickos community, which I just found earlier today on X, shout out to this account. It might be my new most frequented account.
Sickos.
Because the Sickos were out and they wanted to hear one thing. They wanted to hear one thing, and a kick to the balls to the Duke radio team that had to call the UConn game winner.
Do for Boozer. Bobbled it back for Sarr. Needs to get rid of it. Does for Caden. 7 seconds. Trying to throw it ahead. Deflected. Stolen by Connecticut. 2 seconds. It's Mullins up top for the win. Oh, he hit it. With 3/10 of a second to go. Malachi Smith ran off the bench. That should be a technical. But with 3/10 of a second to go, Connecticut has the lead, 73-72. As Connecticut got the three from Mullins after the turnover from Caden Boozer.
The best is he immediately goes to technical.
Yes,
technical
yes.
foul. Give us 2 shots, please.
The ultimate, let's try and, get ourselves saved here with some rule book technicality for the privileged few. Like when that big time dork with the Greendale tennis team tried to pull out the rule book on me when I was a freshman in tennis, that I was taking over 90 seconds on the change. But I had to get that one in. Yeah, wow. I mean, he was still trying. He was still trying to provide hope for Duke Nation, and it wasn't there, kicking the balls.
Utterly impossible.
Oh, my gosh. That is just an epically, that's one of the most painfully wonderful calls you'll ever hear.
That's the thing, because it is a really good call.
It's a great call, and it's painful for Duke, and you can hear the pain. But since I'm not a Duke fan, I don't feel it. So it's like, but it's one of those, man. And then, once again, sparking the conversation when it's a game ball and a kick to the ball for Dan Hurley.
Utterly impossible.
Who's strutting around like a peacock with his jacket half off after that, thinking he did something special. You didn't, brother. I mean, yeah, you coach your team to 3 Final Fours, but who's the bigger villain, Dan Hurley or Duke these days for sports fans? I'm not really sure. I'd say it's still Duke, but the brand, right? But, oh, my goodness.
All right, but vicariously, here's one for you. I'm going to give a game ball.
Yelich delivers in the clutch.
Because you can't underestimate, and they're talking about it in Connecticut today, the boost that Armen Sarian and the Ring Out of Hoya crew gave to UConn with that focusing them with that late season L that snapped them to attention and helped them ride a wave to the Final Four.
You must have been reading the text thread with my MU boys buddies. That's the 11-man text thread we have that said, "Where are the credits? We should be getting credit.
You should be getting total credit."
And it's the obviously, hey, we were good enough. We beat a Final Four team.
That's true.
That was the other one. But yes,
put that one in the rafters, Shaka.
Absolutely. Maybe we should. No, we won't. The well-timed loss is always, but often a key indicator for tournament teams. A lot of teams see that, the well-timed loss. Marquette was that time loss for the UConn Huskies that went on now to the Final Four, maybe longer. So
the tough thing is I'm actually going to give another kick to the balls to Duke, because if they would have just bowed out against St. John's, now that was an all-time great game yesterday.
Great game.
But I desperately wanted to see Patino and Hurley part 3. I wanted to see those guys on the sideline with the trip to the Final Four on the line so badly. Hurley, I've gone through all of the circles with Dan Hurley, because there was a moment yesterday, as I'm calling him Danny. Remember, Danny did change his name. He was Danny when he first got that job at Duke or at UConn. Now he's Dan. He was on Dan Patrick earlier last week, which you hear right after this show. And Dan asked him, "You gonna go back to Danny?" He goes, "Yeah, maybe when I'm like 60 and I got to try to feel young again. But I'm pretty young right now." So, all right, Danny. Okay, bud. But he has got to be the most entertaining guy on a sideline that we have in college basketball, right? I mean, if you're going to see somebody go through all the stages of celebration, elation, and absolute heartbreak, it was him or his parents in the crowd. Shout out CBS for being able to get that incredible shot of his parents all dropping simultaneously. Holy bleeping bleep, we just won. Oh, my God. And Dan Hurley's dad with a single tear in his eye. knowing all of the excitement. That was pretty cool yesterday.
Well, if you know the history of the Hurleys and stuff like that, I guess, yeah, that part is pretty cool. But, man, wouldn't that have been absolute cinema just to get Patino and him last time? And I guess it game balls to Father Shanley and the good priest and the good Jesuit priests in Jamaica, Queens, New York for extending Rick Pitino.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, you won. That's enough for us. We don't care about the rest.
Yelich delivers in the clutch.
So they've secured him. He's got more years. Probably going to end his career there, obviously. But, man, that would have been fantastic to see one last time.
877-794-1973. NicolaLaw.com talking text line. Share your game balls and kicks the balls. Mike in Milwaukee. Kick to the balls to the Brewers.
Utterly impossible.
Well, what's the matter, Mike? All they did was win 3 games, have a delicious comeback walk-off yesterday. He said, nope, the new City Connect jerseys that leaked are horrible.
Yeah, I did see that. Now, are those is this a real
Nobody
thing?
knows.
Nobody knows.
Brewers, Adam McCalvey wrote a story about it. The Brewers denied, couldn't comment. Someone leaked it. The jersey says Wisco. It's a different colorway.
Red.
It's
red
orange. It's got some orange. Yeah, it's got some orange in it. Don't know if those are legit or if it's a Photoshop dream for somebody.
I think it's fair to say I don't like them either, but nothing will ever top what we already had.
But Murph went out of his way to say on opening day, I think that this is the state's team, the entire state. So maybe that was a little bit of a foreshadowing that they want to lean into that a little bit. But Wisco, first of all, no one says Wisco.
Now that's the problem. Yes.
No one here says it.
Some Badger students say that, don't they? No?
No, I mean, they say Scotty more than anything.
Yeah, they say Scotty, but Wisco isn't a thing.
Yeah, Wisco's not necessarily used. That would be I think in San Francisco, people calling it San Fran.
Yeah, they don't do that.
No one there calls it San Fran.
They don't call it Frisco either.
City. Yeah, they don't call it Frisco. Yeah.
So that's a.
They don't. No one in Boston says Beantown.
So I thought the reason why we got rid of the Brew Crew jerseys was because it was for the new powder blue with Milwaukee across the front. That I would have been okay with. I love the Brew Crew. I think that one is
good. Yeah.
Maybe my favorite one that they've had of any kind of alternate.
That'll be the all-time best.
Definitely tops even the old gold ones that they had, which were an interesting Sunday best.
They weren't terrible. Yeah,
they weren't the worst.
Well, then let's give a kick in the balls.
Utterly impossible.
To who really deserves it in this situation.
Come on, go.
And it's Fanatics.
Thank you.
And it's absolutely Fanatics because they're pressuring all these leagues to keep these teams. Michael Rubin, right? To keep coming up with more City Connects and more, Legend Connects and more alternate jerseys. And you can't keep doing all these alternate jerseys and come up with good looking jerseys. So let's just give a kick in the balls to where it belongs to all alternate jerseys and the proliferation of them, which is solely the fault of Fanatics and their desire to ruin everything about sports hosiery. That's my opinion. Is it the right upholstery?
Something like that. Yeah.
Hosiery is just socks. That's the problem, that we've got too many alternate jerseys these days, and it's directly because the leagues want to make money with Fanatics and stuff like that.
Right.
I got a pair of kick to the balls here, both to me.
Utterly impossible.
First off, for me, getting ready to make fun of Bill Murray yesterday, when I'm like, wait, I thought he was a Xavier fan, and then he's got a Chicago hat on. Kicking balls to me for not realizing his son was on the staff and he's going to be the new coach of Boston College.
Yeah, his son's a coach. That's why he's been doing all that.
An amazing video of them celebrating. I'm like, get Bill Murray off my damn television. How many different schools does he have?
You thought he was Drake. You thought he was Drake?
Yeah, I just thought he was Drake in it. I just thought he was a fan of whoever's on.
Yeah, I saw people were jumping on him. I'm like, did they not know that his son's a...
Yeah, right here, hand raised in there. Had no clue his son was a coach.
That's okay. We all learn things for the first time.
At 8 years old until I realized that his son is, and he's now going to be the new coach at Boston College. So enjoy that 3 years until you don't take a new job.
I was going to say they have not been relevant.
That's a tough gig to get. It is 7:13, and it's probably about time that we said this one. Kick to the balls for me for missing the Christian Yelich home run yesterday.
Utterly impossible.
Billy ailed it.
Now, tale as old as time, Brewers fans, and you're welcome. You're welcome. I think we're going to start with that because if there's ever one kind of list of something that only happens, Drew, in the last 2 years, I have taken my young son, who is about as big of a Brewers fan as you're going to find at the age of 3, to a number of different games and a number of different incredible moments that we have seen on either Forest Home or on television when we have gotten home, like the Christian Yelich walk-off grand slam last year, or the Brewers 3-run comeback against the Nationals that Caleb Durbin hit a baseball that legitimately would have landed right in front of where the crew was sitting. to another walk-off later into the year. Luckily, we had to run the bases, so we didn't miss the Isaac Collins walk-off home run last year. Otherwise, we would have done that. And when my wife asked me end of the 7th inning, do we try to see one more? Because I think Benson's I think he's done. I think the 10-month-old, pardon me, I think the 11-month-old is done. I think it's about time for him to go. Well, they're not doing anything. Are you kidding me? We've watched this whole thing. We've watched this whole game. They're 3 for 16 with runners in scoring position. Absolutely, we're getting out of here and beating this traffic with an entire ripped-up 894. And thank God for Brewers Radio and Lane Grindle for doing an excellent job celebrating and letting us all know of the 6-run rally.
Amazing.
That we ended up missing.
Yeah.
So you're welcome, Brewers fans. The only way they were going to win that game is if I left early, and then there you go. Congratulations.
You get an asterisk, though, because you ail it. Always leave early, the Zabe coin. Should we stay or go? Stay, go. Ail it, beat the traffic. But when you have kids in the mix, oh man,
it's definitely
if you can get your kid to the sausage race, you're winning.
Right. And you don't want to miss that time.
Because like once they're done, like they're not hungry anymore and stuff. It's hard to keep the attention on a baseball game for a little kid.
And we were struggling because Drew, the pitch clock couldn't even help that game yesterday. I mean, it was an hour first 2 innings.
Kick to the balls to me because
Utterly impossible.
I'm big on like time of game now because as a beat guy, I watched a lot of bad baseball games that took forever.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the pitch clock is one of the greatest inventions in sports. Up there
Bar
with the 3-point line. And,
totally
shot
agree.
clock.
Shot clock. And
The Fox
Brewers'
box.
first 3 games have all been north of 3 hours, which is marathon in this territory. But, okay, opening day, the White Sox struck out 20 times and walked 10. Hard to play a game
They're a rare
crisply
moment.
when you have
Yeah.
But the Brewers, when you average like 7 pitches in at bat and you foul pitches off, and Yelich spoiled if he fouled off a pitch that was a key in his game winning at bat.
Big time, yeah.
It's well, the Brewers have adopted that. The Yankees did it for years and were grinding, and the Yankees games always take long for whatever reason. But Dodgers, when you have a good team and you work at bats and work counts and get deep into counts like that, you still might struggle on offense. Doesn't necessarily translate to, but it means longer games. And then we had a lot of ABS action yesterday.
Big time, yes.
Couple of like, let's go to the replay. That it just felt clunky a little bit. Now, again, Brandis wrote the first 2 innings. I think we had like 150 pitches in the first 2 innings. It was just disgusting.
It was unreal, and there was no way you could have told
play
me
2 innings. And it's like, I'm like, what is this, Throwback Sunday?
Yes.
Are we going back to like 2007?
And my man at one
What are we
point
doing?
threw 32 balls and 32 strikes, and the only way he threw 32 strikes was because they were slinging it.
And we're in the ABS here. It's not that they were getting squeezed. It just felt like a high school game. Like
It was
no
tough.
one can throw, or a little league game. No one can throw a strike. Like you just, what do you walk in the ballpark? But I do watch because I think the perfect baseball game is between like 2:20 and 2:40.
And that's
the
exactly
perfect
it.
day. Everybody's
Yep.
like, 3 o'clock. And when the pitch clock, when the game goes 2:10 or something, people are like, that's too quick. Yeah, I barely had time to buy that next beer. I didn't, I want more enjoyment. No,
we
2 hours is good. Like,
enjoy it and get
the
rolled.
Bucks game was a thumb sucker yesterday. For some reason, it took like 2.5 hours.
Sometimes it just happens that way, and
It
there's
just
no rhyme or
does.
reason.
But the time of game to me, and I watch it, but the Brewers have yet to play a game under 3 hours. And part of it is that they do grind through at bats. This is that offense that they're going to have. It's the way they have to operate.
And some of these tournament games, switching it back to basketball, you mentioned NBA, but the reviews, the length of
they're
reviews
painstaking,
in some
dude.
of these college tournaments, it's enough for me to sit there and say, forget
Especially
replay.
in the tournament when you already have long timeouts.
Oh
and long,
my
it
gosh!
sucks.
Well,
and the horn got stuck. How about a kick to the balls for the horn getting stuck in
Kick
the
it.
Purdue game? Was it the Purdue
Utterly
game?
impossible.
Just unplug
Kick
it and
it.
plug it back in.
I think it was. Well,
Anyone else try that?
seems easy enough. This did happen in the Pistons Cavs game on a Friday night a couple of weeks ago, and the guy that was sitting there had never been so frustrated, and then all of a sudden somebody may have unplugged it and plugged it back in the back, and you could see his face saying, "Thank God somebody did that."
Yeah,
because there was no way I was going to figure it out. I did preemptively shout out our friends at the Milwaukee Admirals because I was working on Saturday night. I was like, just so you know, nothing can be as bad as what happened in the Illinois-Iowa game where the horn just kept rolling off.
Sure.
Heather Wojo looked at me and she goes, it's the first period, dude. You couldn't have waited until after the game to be able to throw that one in there. Now, luckily, nothing did end up happening other than us not being able to score. So
but they won last night.
A 4-1L gets made up for by the great show that Parmalee put on and the win that they had yesterday. But on the time of game deal and the reviews, guys, kick to the balls to the NFL officials.
Utterly impossible.
Who are they're holding firm, Drew. They're holding firm on what they want in this new collective bargaining agreement. And the number one deal that I've never understood, and I think we're kind of in lockstep here, that if the NFL is not the ones that don't want to make the officials full-time. The NFL would like to have the officials be full-time employees where they could train throughout the offseason. Maybe they could be at UFL games and getting more reps. But the officials want to keep their day jobs of being an associate principal, a lawyer, or a chemist. And are the ones that have decided that they're going to hold firm on this lack of training throughout the year. Well, the NFL said, hold on. We got our owners meeting here. We're just going to say soft launch that we can call everything from New York. So you guys think that you're really, really important. We are going to find the high school refs that blew the Green Bay Seattle game, bring them right back here. And if anything bad happens, get Gene Steratore with the Logitech controller, the PS2 game, and change it up from New York. So the NFL said, you guys think that you got some power here. Rudderless ship. Let's go take this thing
I
over.
don't know that full-time would make them that much better. I don't think that incrementally, it's no big deal. They do have the money, and it's like, but it's not an atrocity to me. It's like people say, how can they not have full-time referees? Like, really? Like, they're gonna they already send guys to training camps and stuff to do that.
And the other part of it that I really think is the tip of the iceberg is that they're holding off on that it has to be seniority. And understandably so. This is what unions do. They hold off on they hold this flag, and they want to continue to work for the workers' rights, and I'm with that. But like, let's get the best referees into the biggest games. No. It is a seniority deal, and the NFL's like, no. It's a who's the best guy in a merit-based system to get to the biggest games and into the playoffs.
I think the quick thing before we get to Hunter, we're getting to him next.
Yes,
it's this idea that it would be cool if they're full time, but it's not gonna be a perfect utopia. It never will be. There's always gonna be calls you don't like, mistakes. This is gonna happen.
Our training wouldn't make them better.
No, I think it might, and I think it would help. But people are always gonna be unhappy about something.
Time for our current electric superhero of the day. We got a tie. Christian Yelich and Braylon Mullen.
Yeah, Mullen's going to be a hard one.
Hard to top them, but Christian Yelich for the pinch homer, first of his career.
I was going to say.
And
Ben Dexheimer as well for a snipe to send the team to the Frozen Four might be another good one.
That's another good one.
Well.
So we have ample candidates, current electric, though. They're your superheroes.
Yeah, especially because you need to get a safety inspection, guys, because life is going to come at you quick. My life has changed quite a bit in the last 5 years. But keeping and making sure your home is safe and the increase in our electrical bills this summer, it's going to be a part of it. But some peace of mind, you can't put a price on it. However, Current Electric has. They've set the price on peace of mind. $26.99. $26.99. That's the price for the superheroes that come out and do a safety inspection at your home. Give you the peace of mind that your home is safe going into the summer with the raising use of electric during the summer and that air conditioning unit. Go to callcurrent.com. Callcurrent.com. Get yourself some peace of mind and get yourself that safety inspection going on now.
When we come back, Hunter Baumgardt joins the party, our Brewers go-to guy. His first pregame show will air this evening. Hunter Baumgardt is next. It's The Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Rolling along the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin, 920 Milwaukee, 1070 Madison, everywhere on the iHeart app, and of course, YouTube, X, and Facebook on the streams. We are joined by our pal Hunter Baumgardt, our Brewers correspondent. He is brought to us by Import Minded, your trusted choice for exceptional vehicle care, South 27th Street, just north of 894. Hunter, welcome to the program. What a weekend. Hunter?
Probably be good if I unmute.
There you go. Hey!
Monday's off to a good start. So, great weekend, though. Despite the Micah situation, that was a fantastic weekend at the ballpark. Really couldn't have asked for a better start. 3-0 is obviously what you want, but to put up 29 runs, 35 hits offensively, that was a good weekend for the offense.
And for the Brewers to be the Brewers again, right? Like we've been kind of joking about it throughout the morning, but to see them be the woodpeckers that they were a year ago and just not cave to a game, Hunter, that seemingly was a game that you drop. Rookie starter comes in, can't find the strike zone. Then all of a sudden you leave, what was it? They were 2 for 15, 3 of 16 with runners in scoring position at one point. Generally, you lose that game and you move on to the next day. But the win tonight mentality that Murph has continued to drive home with everybody, and seemingly when it matters to the main actor in the clubhouse and the captain of Christian Yelich on a day off where he delivers the biggest swing, it sure feels like they have you can't just pick up where you were a year ago. But it does feel like the bones of it have kind of just taken off from where they were in 25.
That's the thing. Like coming into this season, it was a lot of, okay, how many wins do you think they'll have? Will they win the division again, right? We're projecting everything. And to me, it's like, it's hard to win 97 games again. But my biggest question was like, there was some times last year where it just seemed magical what they were doing. Like there were times where it's like, did that really just happen? Did they really win, their 14th in a row and Monasterio's the one to be the hero, or right? Things like that. Or they're down 8-1 against the Reds and they come back to win. Yesterday felt like that again. And you didn't know if it was going to carry over to 2026. And there's obviously 159 games left. But for that to happen in the first series of the year, for you to be down 7-2 in the 6th inning and down 4-0 before recording it out in the game, and to come back and win and Christian Yelich be the hero, I just it had that feeling of last year again. And Christian Yelich referenced that after the game, telling us, yeah, this is kind of who we are. A lot of these guys were here last year when we did these types of things. And so in the dugout, they were staying positive throughout the game. And they were saying, let's chip away. Let's get back into this thing. And they never gave up. And then all of a sudden they get the 6-run 8th inning and win the game. So that was a big question for me coming into this year, and we'll obviously see if it's answered throughout the season. You can't necessarily here on March 30th decide that, but for the time being, it seems some of that has definitely carried over into 2026.
Hunter, as though the 6-run rally and the respite from the struggling with runners in scoring position was nice and all, to me, that was a bullpen victory, man, because they held them down. Once Sproat got out of there, for Grant Anderson, who warmed up, like he threw about 3 games in the bullpen before he got into the game. Yeah. And then for Woodford Reserve to come in and do what he did, those guys. And then McGill's first game, like to come in and, work it. That's a bullpen victory to me. That is what sets the stage. And those guys so often get overlooked, but you got to shine a light on them when you can.
Totally. 6 scoreless innings. They've been scored upon once in their 14 2/3 so far in the series. So they've only given up 1 run. And Trevor McGill shouted out Grant Anderson. He's like, he was warming up twice before he came in that third time. And he's like, that's not easy to do. And so, yeah, there was a lot of guys in that clubhouse yesterday that were crediting that bullpen, as they should. And it was the great team of them that keeps you where you want to be, right? Brandon Sproat exited after giving up 7 runs. Obviously not the optimal Brewers start he wanted to have, but then the bullpen picks you up and it just allows you to keep chipping away. And it's interesting because it wasn't necessarily, they chipped away a little bit, but obviously the 6-run, they're down 7-3 heading into that 8th inning. So it was all kind of in a bunch yesterday, but they kept putting pressure on the White Sox. And that was going to be my thing, even if they lost yesterday, was asking Pat Murphy about the pressure that they continued to put on, even though they were down by so many runs, because they had, like you said, Billy, their runners in scoring position, stat was not good, but they were continuing to put pressure on them, get guys on base. And then it felt like, all right, just if you keep doing this, and then the bases got loaded, and then the stadium turned, and then Terang went the other way, and you thought, okay, now, and then there's only 1 out. And then that's when I kind of started to think, okay, they might got it. They might have something here. And then I don't audibly gasp a lot in the club or in the press box when something happens.
You're very professional.
When Yelich put the bat to the ball there, that was an audible gasp just because the sound, and you knew it right away. And obviously he knew it right away.
Oh yeah, he pimped the hell.
Yeah,
out of
similarly to the Montgomery grand slam, because that ball sounded different. Like, I don't know exactly where it landed. That thing was an absolute nuke.
Big old blast. Yeah.
The other guy that I thought was incredibly impactful in the game, and we talked about it as well, like the Yelich at bat doesn't happen if Rengifo doesn't continue the inning and reach. For a dude that had such tough luck throughout the game, he hit two of the harder balls right at the second baseman earlier in the game. And it seems like, I mean, you'd be able to understand this, and it's difficult for him to be any bit feeling like somebody in his Cheerios after you're 3-0 and the team has got a plus 19 run differential. But I got to assume he's not exactly thrilled with how the first 3 games go, right? You would have thought he'd be the starter. David Hamilton comes in. Now everybody likes David Hamilton because he steals a bunch of bags, and he's almost the afterthought. That takes a lot of mental toughness to be able to sit through that and still be ready when your name is called.
Totally, and he definitely was. And I think the biggest thing to that at-bat, too, was going full count and just battling in that at-bat, battling till he got a pitch he liked. In a 3-2 count and being able to drive in 2 runs there. That exactly was it. And being able to, get to a 3-2 count with the bases loaded, and you're probably going to get a pitch, that to your liking, or if it's outside, then you walk in a run. So you're in a really good spot there if you're Rengifo, and just a veteran type of at-bat and a battle. And like you said, having the mindset, and that's what Pat Murphy does. He keeps these guys engaged throughout the game. Obviously, you heard the story in the report earlier about Pat Murphy talking about getting Christian Yelich ready. But then also later in that quote, he goes on to talk about, William Contreras and making sure he was ready to catch in the 9th inning if need be. And then all of a sudden, I mean, if that game would have somehow went to extras or something, they would have had to, McGill was batting 4th in the order then. So they would have had to go back to the NL rules that they used to have. Because of the switch. But yeah, I mean, he prepares everyone for what they have. He believes in his guys. And I think Pat Murphy was a very significant part of that win yesterday.
Totally agree. Hunter Baumgardt joining us here, our baseball guy. Hunter, what time is your pregame show tonight? The maiden voyage.
Hey, all right.
Yes. Maiden voyage, 5:30 to 6:30 tonight. So an hour before the game, we'll get you set with Pat Murphy sound. We'll get you set with sound from players as well, and look back at the weekend, and then look ahead to Kyle Harrison's debut tonight.
Very excited for that. Very excited for that show.
And now you mentioned we're going to see Kyle Harrison tonight. I'm excited. Armen and I are going to be in the crowd. I'll probably leave early, and there'll be another sick comeback. With the Brandon Sproat experience. Now,
good question here.
And let's just start here. Last week, I was, chastising the Potawatomi Sportsbook for not offering Brandon Sproat Rookie of the Year odds.
Sproat the GOAT. Right?
I don't think they're going to offer it after yesterday's performance. But what was the sentiment in the clubhouse after the game for the young man? Because I'll just tell you, Section 118 was ready to make him walk to Nashville. I potentially said maybe we Amtrak, right? Like maybe we take like a long bus, maybe a Greyhound down there, be a little bit nice to the young man. But I don't assume that he's going to get sent down after one bad start. But what was the conversation for the young right-hander yesterday in the locker room after?
I will say, first of all, remember what Quinn Priester did against the Cubs in early May of last year. And then remember what Quinn Priester did for 4 months after that. So
thank you, Hunter. Very good point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there is, and we said this coming into the season. What was the big question mark of this team? The starting rotation, not because they didn't have really high upside, but because they're young and inexperienced. And when the first 4 batters of the game go walk, single, grand slam, that's not going to probably bode well for the rest of the game, especially when you throw 39 pitches in the first inning. So he was down, even though the rest of the clubhouse was hopping, in post game yesterday. You could tell that he was taking it on his shoulders a little bit and not obviously happy, which you're not, right? You give up 7 runs in those 3 innings and you're not feeling yourself too much after that. However, one of the things that I really noticed, especially in that first inning, Pat Murphy made a mound visit and didn't make a pitching change. And that's not something he usually does. Not something managers do, period. Right. Yeah. But Pat Murphy did that early in this game after the walk, single, grand slam. And he went out there. So I asked Brandon Sproat after the game, what was the message that Pat Murphy delivered to you after those first 4 batters?
I saw him coming out, and I was like, hey, you know, let's just see what he has to say and take it as it is. But the message he gave was really reassuring. He said, hey, man, you know, obviously this isn't how you want to start it. He said, let's get back to it. You know, let's pitch for the name on the front of your jersey. And that was definitely nice to hear. And it's like, okay, you know, I've got guys behind me that, you know, are busting their tail every single day. You know, waiting to make plays. So I'm like, you know, let's try the best we can. Just you know, get the ball on the ground. Just let them work. So.
What stuck out to me there was the play for the name on the front of your jersey. I mean, for Pat Murphy to and you could tell, you know, by the zoomed in camera when they were showing that mound visit that he was delivering some sort of message, and knowing Pat Murphy, it was some sort of encouragement, and just kind of calming him down. And as Brandon Sproat said, really reassuring. I tell you, Pat Murphy has just an amazing ability to connect with his young players.
Yeah, well, pretty impressive.
A lot of ways it takes the pressure up there. You know, like I think a lot of times when people hear play for the name on the front and other, they think of you're being selfish. It's not. It's like we're taking the pressure off you. It's not about you failing right now. It's like let's help the team. Let's help the team. Yeah, let's eat some innings. All those type of things. Right.
We were saying, Hunter, that it was the interesting part of the Sproat debut is he's throwing to Jefferson Carroll, who's making his big league debut. So it's like there's Wild Bill would have been out there, you know, second batter, walk out and kind of calm him down a little bit. But they're both kind of like, there's a guy, fourth big league start, first big league start. Here's your battery, you know, go to town. And the start was as bad as it could be. So getting 3 innings out of him was a bit of a win.
Big time.
Right. But having Carroll out there was, you know, that's not ideal, but it's the soup they're in. You knew he was going to get a start on the weekend once he came up.
Totally. And I think that is possibly a different game if Contreras is back there. And I think it kind of shows again, and nothing against Carroll, because I think he can be a really good ball player, and that's his first time too. I mean, you compare that with the experience that Contreras has and the ability that Contreras has. And Pat Murphy, he did it again, I think in the first 2 games of the season, and then obviously not yesterday because Contreras hardly caught, but otherwise Pat Murphy's always making a point. You guys, I know it's not on the stat sheet, but Contreras, the impact he has in the game, I think you saw it maybe the most in the game he didn't start on Sunday.
That's right.
Good point.
Hunter, on the way out here, Sal Frelick's got the drag 'em thing, you know, that they're talking about. Drag 'em, have the quality at bat.
T-shirt.
I'm old enough to remember my dear friend, Brewers icon, Jeff Cirillo, friend of the Huddle. We used to call those Cirillos, where it's 0-2 and then all of a sudden it's 3-2 and he's drawing a walk, or he's getting a hit on 3-2 at the end of a 9-pitch at bat.
Amen.
And he did that a lot. He was like 0-2. The at bat was just getting started for Rillo, right? And that's the kind of grinding team the Brewers have. 29 runs this weekend, 35 hits, 22 walks. They're seeing almost 23 pitches an inning. And now, granted, it's the White Sox and all, right? But that's where grit is defined. And all 3 games took more than 3 hours, which I'm not a fan of, but I'm a fan of the offensive approach and the grinding. Is that different? Like the 6th inning rally or the 6-run rally in the 8th inning, like there was a whole lot of 2-strike action
big time
going on. Guys are getting hits with 2 strikes. So Hunter, what is your take on that? Will that be the identity of this team moving forward?
I think so. I think, you know, you saw it some last year, and maybe even they take it to another level this year. Kurt Hogue of the Journal Sentinel, who wrote that story about Sal Frelick, and go check that out, because it's talking about that drag 'em theory, so to speak.
Love it.
And how the Brewers do that on offense. But he asked both Sproat and McGill after the game, like, if you're facing this offense, like, what would that experience be like? And Sproat just chuckled. Like, he was just like, I don't want to do it. He's like, I was just telling Priester that the other day. And then McGill was like, yeah, I don't think I'd enjoy having to pitch 7 pitches at least to every batter.
Right.
And so it's just, that is, even if it's not a home run, even if it's not a double, even if it's not even a hit or a walk, you're still taking a chunk out of the pitcher, and especially against pitchers. And we'll see obviously Shane Smith on opening day was a good example. Like, he's going to be a very good pitcher and is a very good pitcher. And to be able to do that against those types of pitchers, we saw it some last year. You know, they kind of roughed up Skeens early last year, like by taking walks and being able to work counts, and then also the pressure that they have on the bases when they do get on base. Talked with Garrett Mitchell about that Saturday night, and he's like, the threat of the steal is sometimes the biggest thing. It's not even that you're going to steal. And Pat Murphy talked about this last year too. It's not even just, even if you, he's like, whether you go or don't go doesn't matter. It's about, you're in their heads. And I think that helps. And then it leads to longer counts because the pitchers are throwing balls because they're not controlled, because they're thinking about the guy on first or second or where have you. So I think all of that combined makes this offense, number one, fun to watch, but also really effective.
Now, I'm really down for the White Sox to trade us another first baseman. Is this Murakami the best hitter of all time?
Oh, my gosh.
My God. You can't get this cat out. But also, 2 years, $30 million. Anybody could have signed him to that deal. It wasn't like
no one bid except the White Sox.
No one
worked
bid.
out perfectly for them.
It seems good. And so what do we trade Woodford over here, or what guy doesn't all of a sudden isn't going to start, and we're going to move him to the bullpen, and then we can ship him off over there and take him?
I think so. I mean, it's happened before, so let it happen again. You know, 3 home runs in 3 games, so he's on pace for 162. So just
definitely getting that.
Keep an eye on that, right? Exactly. I think he's the 4th major league player to hit 3 home runs in his first 3 games. Chase DeLauder just did it for the Guardians this weekend, so like that was at 2 heading into this weekend. Now it's at 4.
That's crazy.
But it is. But and then how about Trevor McGill in the 9th inning, tying run in Murakami, and he strikes him out on 4 pitches.
Amen.
That was a great way to start the season for Trevor McGill.
That was impressive. Hunter, great start. Good luck tonight with that pregame show, Maiden Voyage. Join him at 5:30 to get the skinny from the ballpark and get ready for Brewers Rays. Ron and Stellis points out after 3 games last year, Brewers were 0-3 with a -22 run differential. This year they're 3-0. They're +19.
Yeah, this one's better. This one's better.
Now we like run differentials and stuff.
This one's better. Thanks, Hunter.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate it. Hunter Baumgardt, ladies and gentlemen, check him out this evening at 5:30. This portion of the program has been brought to you by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin, orthowisconsin.com, the website. Check them out online. Don't limp through life with an injury. It's one thing if you get a sports injury you need to take care of right away. They're the best in the business. But if you have a chronic problem, knee, hip, ankle, shoulder, go to the best, orthowisconsin.com, Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. There is a difference. Back to wrap up a Game Balls and Kicks Monday. It's the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Drew, Billy, and Armen closing up shop on a Monday. Oh, time flies when you're having fun. We had so much to talk about with the Brewers start, Badger hockey.
So good.
And of course, the Final Four set. It's going to be fun. Firing that up this weekend. Going to be great.
I got a hot take, though. I think the Frozen Four is what I'm most excited for, especially if, anybody in the Madison area, and listen, our bosses need a stringer. I think this does seem like something that maybe we need to do a live.
Yeah, there we go.
I will volunteer as tribute to go out and cover the Frozen Four, not this upcoming week, but next week, right? So the boys get themselves a little bit of time off, get out of the way of the men's basketball tournament.
That's right.
We take over Vegas on April 9th. Armen, that's when you're going to be out there, right?
Yes. Going back. Yeah.
So I can just like your Baldo, I can just stay in your room, right?
You got it. Yeah.
Sweet.
I don't know.
Boom.
I have to ask my wife, but yeah, sure.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Sweet.
Yeah, right.
Awesome. There's an extra bed in there. Yeah.
There
That'll be
you go.
fine.
Yep.
We can go cover the Frozen Four. We'll go to the games. It'll be awesome. We'll watch Bucky win the championship, just like our guy Jeff in Fox Point did on the talk and text line. We said I went to the national title game in 2006. 20 years later in Vegas, no better place to do it.
Let's go. 877-794-1973. Still time to get in your last minute game balls and kicks to the balls to the NCAAlaw.com talk and text line. But we need a wake and bake story. Thanks to our friends at happyplacehemp.com. Rob and Chris. Billy saw them last week. Business is booming. Folks are using the code Huddle for 25% off and free shipping. Check them out at happyplacehemp.com. The best CBD products you'll find anywhere. They ship everywhere in the state at dizzying speeds. The Drift Seltzer is amazing. Great alcohol alternative. Fewer calories, all natural. Check out the Drift Seltzer and the Drift Gummies as well.
Today's Wake and Bake story involves a Green Bay Packer, but not about a Green Bay Packer. Xavier McKinney had an imposter pose as him to swindle over $4 million from a lender in an effort to get money back from the broker who was duped. A long story of the Guardian. You can find more at profootballtalk.com.
Wow.
Xavier McKinney is not implicated. He is not listed as anybody, but my man used Xavier McKinney as hey, I'm Xavier McKinney, posing as Xavier McKinney to get a loan for $4.3 million. I might want to meet the guy in person and shake his hand if I'm giving him $4.3 million.
There you go.
That's just not something you can do over the phone. I'm sorry.
That's right.
Come on.
We will see you tomorrow at 5 a.m.
Peace.